the video, 20 years old, almost to the exact day. These two teams have been duking it in the Deb for decades, as on all of Division III, two nationally ranked teams will be facing off here tonight. Welcome into the Perch, Eddie McAlpine alongside Michelle Smith and Parker Voris. Tonight it's the number 6 Oswego Lakers and the number 14 Geneseo Knights. We're in for a good one. This is our second Lakers game of the weekend. Last night the Lakers took on the Hobart Statesmen. What are we thinking coming into this one tonight, Michelle?
I'm happy to be back in the Deb. It's a little bit warmer than it was at Hobart. A ridiculous blowout, Hobart versus Oswego last night. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oswego taking on another ranked opponent here in the Deb, and it should be a good one. But going right into the game last night, Hobart versus Oswego, number 6 versus number 1. It was very cold in the cooler last night. That's why it's called a cooler for the reason. But Oswego coming into this game, Milberg in the net, looked to be hanging with the number 1 ranked Statesman. Early on, 14 minutes in, no one has scored yet, but weaving his way through the defense, Tanner Daniels finds Fontana down low for the first goal of the game. Khalil Fontana getting the scoring started for the Hobart Statesmen. Oswego looking to respond. Vasilo in front of the net, can't get the goal. I mean, what a save here by Beaver. Stretches his body across, gets a toe save. Lakers could have tied it up 1-1, not able to. Hobart now on the man advantage, 5-on-3. They're going to score that 9 times out of 10. So Hobart now up 2-0, about 19 minutes in the second period. Hobart again on the power play, score again. They have the best power play conversion percentage in the country at 33%. Lakers special teams really killed them last night. But don't count out these Oswego State Lakers just yet. A shot from Aiden Cooper, rebounds off Beaver. Josh Simpson able to get it. So now Oswego 3-1, making it a little interesting. But Hobart doing what they do best off the face-off in Oswego's offensive zone. I mean, what a pass here by Hovey Sapien. I mean, right to Fontana for his second goal of the game. Hobart now up 4-1. And this one was the nail in the coffin. Great. I can't talk about Hobart's passing enough. This pass goes across the ice from Connor Lowley. Goes through 3 Oswego defenders for the 5th goal of the game. Hobart would score 1 more in the second period to make it 6-1. But the Lakers don't come out on top, guys. It was just a dominant performance on all aspects of this one. Physicality, strength, speed. I mean, Hobart really came to play, guys.
Yeah, the Statesmen have shown no signs of slowing down as they have won now 63 consecutive home games dating back to February 26th of 2022 when they faced Skidmore in the playoffs. So it's been almost 4 years since Hobart has lost at home. The Lakers put up a fight but ultimately could not get it done. But Michelle, despite the outcome last night, there's another headline for a certain Lakers alternate captain. What can you tell me last night?
Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. So last night was Connor Gatto's 100th game, his 4th season with Oswego. He is an alternate captain this season, and he's an absolute asset to this team. 69 points across, I believe, I might be wrong. This was this season. Let me just double check that so I'm not mistaking anyone here. 69 points, career. Absolutely amazing over those 4 seasons. He has a .238 shot percentage. The average for a professional hockey player in the NHL is a .110. Insane. And that's just this season for Gatto. So with only, I believe, 3-4 games left for these Oswego Lakers, absolutely insane. And then on top of Gatto's 100th game, this will be Matt McQuaid's 99th. His 100th will be played in Cortland next Friday, so keep an eye on the captain these next 2 games.
Yeah, Gatto already has the most goals in his 4 years here in Oswego with 10 this season. We spoke to him last night to see how he feels about his 100th career game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been unreal. You know, they say these are the best years of your life, and that's 100% true. I mean, these past 4 years have really flown by, and I'm just having the greatest time of my life, so I can't complain at all.
Yeah, the Lakers definitely happy to have Connor Gatto for 100 games. An impressive milestone for sure, and a pretty important game for the Lakers. And we were there. We saw him play in that milestone game. So, you know, Parker, what are your thoughts just seeing Gatto and the Lakers out there? They put up a fight, as we said, but just Gatto 100 games in now. What a great accomplishment, right?
Yeah, for any player playing 100 games for your team, it's just something to really be proud of. Gatto has been one of the best players for Oswego in his career, and this season, like we touched on Eddie, 10 goals already, leading the Lakers in goals this season. Has been a key piece for the Oswego State Lakers at his time here. After this season, they're definitely going to be missing him.
And that was Gatto's 100th, Michelle. There's another 100th coming up. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so Matt McQuaid has his 100th coming up, like I said, against Cortland next week. That'll be a huge game for the captain. I mean, he has led the Lakers to a fantastic season this season. He was an alternate captain last year, along with senior captain Danny Colabufo. He was the only senior graduate last year. We've got a few heading out this year. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of rebuild the team with some more freshmen coming in and the juniors this season replacing those assets to the team who are graduating out.
Absolutely. We have much more on the Lakers tonight, but now for a little bit on Geneseo. Where's the Jen we see? Oh, she's right there. Our rinkside reporter, Jen Sally. Jen, take it away.
Thanks, Eddie. If we take a look back to last season, we saw the Geneseo Knights in the NCAA playoffs alongside the Oswego State Lakers. The Knights made it all the way into the Frozen Four, where they fell just short to Hobart, ending their season, with a loss in the semifinal round. Jumping back to this season, the Knights are coming into the Deborah F. Stanley Arena tonight on a 3-game winning streak, including a clean sweep against Chatham University just this past weekend. The Knights have a current record of 13 wins, 7 of which were generated on the road. They've suffered 6 losses, and for 5 of those games, they were played on home ice. The last time the Knights faced off against the Lakers, it was on home ice at their home arena, the Ira S. Wilson Arena, in November of 2025, where the Lakers shut out the Knights with a final score of 1-0. It's safe to say that so far this season, the Knights have been performing better on the road, which could potentially be an advantage for them here tonight. Their current record stands at 13-6-1, and with the regular season winding down and the playoffs just around the corner, a win could be very beneficial for the Knights right here tonight. You're not going to want to miss any of the action as the Knights seek to extend their winning streak right here at the Deborah F. Stanley Arena. That's going to do it for me down on the sidelines. I'm Jen Sally. Eddie, back to you.
Thank you, Jen. And with all the success the Knights have had on the road this season, a 7-1-1 record on the road, they will definitely look to strike first here tonight in the Deborah F. Stanley Arena, especially with the unpredictable goalie play the Lakers have shown this season. WTOP 10 sports director and color commentator Mike Necker sat down with Lakers head coach Ed Gosick to hear more about the decision-making going into the netminder process.
Gavin McCarthy started the season out hot with a 54-save shutout against the Geneseo Golden Knights, but as of late, it's been a much different story.
Gavin and Mike Manzi have, they were in a rotation earlier in the year. They are both playing well. They are both pushing one another, and then, for Gavin, it started, not that he was poor, but we thought there were a few goals in the Hobart game that he could have had.
McCarthy's struggles began when the Lakers hosted the number 1 ranked Hobart Statesmen back in December, but as Ed Gosick tells us, he's not the only one having a hard time.
And then the following night, there were some goals, that Manzi, we felt he should have had up in Utica, and then, this Saturday night.
With both McCarthy and Manzi on the hot seat, there's one more goaltender on the Oswego roster, and he's no stranger to the spotlight.
So that leaves the door open for Milberg, came in relief in the Plattsburgh game, came in relief in the Nazareth game, and shut the door on both of those.
Milberg, who finished last season's SUNY Championship victory with 28 saves on 30 shots, has spent most of the season as the third option, but says that each goalie plays a very important role.
As goalies, we go through the same struggles, the same ups and downs. And for somebody who isn't a goalie, it's hard to understand. So if we're all in the same corner, the three of us, and we are working together as a team, it goes a long way.
Reporting for WTOP 10, I'm Mike Neckers.
Thank you, Mike. Now, we've definitely seen a roller coaster between these Lakers goalies this season. Keeping it with the Mike theme, tonight it will be Michael Manzi in net for the Lakers. Michelle, what can you tell me about Michael Manzi this season?
Yeah, Michael Manzi has been an exceptional goalie when he's been brought in, when he's been needed. Last night at Hobart, he was brought in for Brandon Milberg, put up a great performance. Only that I believe 2 of those goals came in on Manzi throughout the second half of the second and that third period. So not maybe what they wanted to see, but definitely gives him a leg up. And like Milberg said, they all have to support each other. This team, a lot of what we hear from them is about the support from each other that makes each other better. We have here in the Deb on this team exceptional goaltending. It's just this season it's been a few flukes after a few flukes, and that leads to this kind of negative reception of these goalies. But I think it'll be an interesting game for Manzi, and I think he's going to do some great things in net.
Absolutely. There's so much more to discuss about this matchup ahead. But with the SUNYAC playoffs approaching, we are bringing in our SUNYAC analyst, Lucas McGarry, with more on the current standings of the conference. Lucas, what can you tell me about the standings right now?
Yeah, thanks, Eddie, and welcome everyone to the SUNYAC Breakdown. I am your SUNYAC analyst, Lucas McGarry. Before we dive into everything shaping tonight's matchup, let's reset the table and take a look at where the conference standings were after a wild night of SUNYAC hockey last night. We'll start in the cooler where Hobart made a statement, rolling past Oswego 6-1 and potentially sealing the #1 seed in the conference. Up in Plattsburgh, the Cardinals were in full control, shutting out Buffalo State 3-0. In Canton, it was a tight battle, but Cortland edged out the Roos 2-1. Down in Saratoga Springs, Skidmore held strong in an overtime thriller, knocking off Fredonia 2-1. And to wrap it all up, Morrisville braved the trip to Potsdam and came away with a hard-fought 3-3 tie against the Bears. With those games in the books, these standings are now as follows. You got Hobart first, 28 points. Oswego second with 22. In third, at 18 points, you got Cortland. 16 points for Skidmore in fourth. Plattsburgh in fifth with 14. Buffalo State in sixth with 12. And then we have a three-way tie in seventh between Fredonia, Canton, and Potsdam, all at 10 points. And then Morrisville in last, rounding out the list with just 5.
Yeah, Lucas, with another full SUNYAC slate of games tonight, is there any particular matchup you're keeping an eye on, or is there any game that stands out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. A bunch of these games are already underway and potentially even done, but the biggest one in terms of movement has got to be Cortland-Potsdam. Cortland is just 4 points behind Oswego in the conference, and they traveled to Potsdam to try and stifle the Bears team, who is trying to break it out of a three-way tie at 10 points. And with a Potsdam move, they would have gotten out of that mix. However, Cortland came in with the W, and we'll get a little bit more into that later, but they come ever so closer to Oswego.
And Lucas, nobody has been able to catch the Hobart Statesmen, as they have been, they remain undefeated, but the 1 seed is technically still up for grabs. What can you tell me about the top of the standings?
Yeah, Eddie, for the Statesmen, the SUNYAC 1 seed is essentially in the bag. Just one team has the possibility to pass them, the Oswego Lakers. The Statesmen and Lakers both have 4 conference games left. Hobart sits at 28 points, while Oswego sits at 22. You get 2 for every win in conference. If the Statesmen somehow lose all 4 of their final games, while Oswego wins their final 4, the Lakers would push ahead. However, with just one more win for Hobart, who plays a weak SUNY Morrisville team next, it seems all but lost for the Lakers to try and get that one.
And with just a handful of SUNYAC games left to play for all teams, what would the conference bracket look like if it started, say, tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. The SUNYAC bracket today would produce some very interesting matchups. With no byes this year, we have an 8 playoff with 8 teams out of 10, so it is still anyone's game. As of today, the #1 seed would host Canton. Oswego would host Fredonia, Cortland would host Buffalo State, and Skidmore would host Plattsburgh. And with the way these teams have been playing, I would not be surprised if this is how it was finished.
We're set for such a fun bracket of matchups this year, but if it were to start today, do you see any upsets happening in that hypothetical first round?
Yeah, it is indeed a very fun bracket, and if I had to pick an upset, honestly, I might have to go with Fredonia with a win over Oswego. Fredonia battled Oswego very well last time, losing a close 3-2 battle. Now fast forward to the way the Lakers have been playing in conference recently. If the slump continued with an upset playoff loss to the Blue Devils at the Deb, I would not be surprised. However, that is all from me. Stick around for more SUNYAC updates to come. Eddie, back to you.
Thank you, Lucas. We look forward to joining you later on in tonight's contest. But Parker, I'm happy we picked Lucas to be our SUNYAC analyst. You've got some picks tonight that I'm looking forward to hearing. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I sure do have some picks. I'm so glad that Parker's Picks is back here on WTOP 10 with my first and top pick, under 4.5 total goals for this game. Looking at the numbers, the under 4.5 goals makes a lot of sense to me. The Oswego State Lakers average 3.8 goals per game, but they also hold opponents to just 2.3. Geneseo Knights nearly identical, scoring 3.8 goals per game while allowing 2.4. When you combine two disciplined defensive teams with strong goaltending, goals become hard to come by, and we've already seen this matchup play out. 1-0, Oswego won earlier this season. That's why I'm taking the under 4.5 tonight. My second one, Connor Gatto, anytime goal scorer. This is the longest scoring drought that Connor Gatto has gone this season. 4 straight games without a goal. He leads Oswego with 10 goals. Elite scorers don't stay quiet for long. with Oswego needing offense and Gatto continue to get quality chances, this feels like a classic bounce back spot against the Geneseo Knights. I like Gatto to finally break through and find the back of the net. And then lastly, Jacob Torgner over 29.5 saves for the Geneseo Knights. Even in a low-scoring game, I like this line, 29.5. Oswego averages nearly 4 goals per game, but more importantly, they generate high-volume shots, especially at home. Against a disciplined Geneseo Knights defense, I like this line for Toger tonight to hit that over. He's going to be facing a lot of shots against Oswego tonight. Their offense is super high-powered and efficient.
Yeah, I love those picks, Parker. These are two high-powered offenses. That goal one, under 4.5, is interesting. You know, like I said, two great offenses. I mean, what came to your decision when you decided you were going to take the under there?
Yeah, 4.5. I mean, we already saw this matchup play out early in the season in Geneseo. McCarthy was in goal for that game. He had 54 saves, which was just ridiculous. And it was only 1-0. Both these teams have their guys to go to scoring-wise. But I feel like it's going to be a similar outcome in this one. Just it's not going to be a lot of scoring, guys. It's going to be low scoring, so I like that under a lot.
I'm loving it, Parker. I love that Parker's Pick segment. You know, with puck drop approaching, let's get some score predictions. And Michelle, I'll start with you. What are you thinking tonight?
I'm going 3-1 Oswego. Geneseo has been a monster on the road this season, but Oswego is known for how they play at home. And I think that after last night, Michael Manzi might have something to say about how many goals he lets in. He might have something to say about who gets to take home those 2 points tonight. So I think Oswego ends up taking it.
And Parker, you said under 5 goals, so I'm assuming your score prediction is also a result to kind of match your Parker's picks. You're going to take a lower score here?
You would be correct, Eddie. So I'm going to go Geneseo 2-1. Like you talked about, Michelle, they're so good on the road. I believe they're going to come into the Deb and take this one. And like I was talking about Connor Gatto, I believe he's going to get that 1 goal for the Lakers, and then that's it. Geneseo is going to come into the Deb and steal one from the Lakers.
So not only the final score prediction, but you're predicting the only goal scorer for the Lakers too. So if anything doesn't go your way, you're kind of out early. So
yeah,
we'll have to track that
we'll
one.
See what happens.
I'm going to go against your top pick. I'm going to say 4-3 Oswego. I think coming off of a tough loss to Hobart last night, they're going to want to look to bounce back and take down a ranked opponent and, you know, really make a statement as we talked about that SUNY season approaching. They're going to want to make a statement at home coming off a loss. I'm saying 4-3 Oswego. You know, what are we thinking as we're getting closer and closer to game time? What are we going to see out there, Michelle?
Good question, Eddie. I honestly, other than like an insane performance from Manzi, and I would think a great performance, like Parker mentioned, from Connor Gatto. He didn't perform too well last night at Hobart, so maybe he'll want to come back and kind of get that retribution for a kind of quiet 100th game. But I definitely agree that Manzi and Gatto are going to have big nights.
Yeah, I will say, even though I have Geneseo winning, the Lakers, they want to bounce back. It was a rough night in the cooler last night against Hobart, but you don't, and again, it's a quick turnaround. You just have to forget about that game and focus on the game at hand. But I will say for the Knights, Alex Dominski is leading the way for the Knights. Number 21 has 16 goals leading the way. He's had 5 times this season where he's had 2 goals for the Knights. I believe he's going to be a big factor if the Knights want to win this game in the Deb.
Absolutely. We've highlighted that Geneseo goalie, but it's really been the story of Manzi, Milberg, and McCarthy, the 3 M's for the Lakers here. We saw Milberg last night. Tonight it's Michael Manzi. McCarthy kind of falling back in that depth chart. So what does Michael Manzi have to do tonight to really earn his spot back that he saw earlier in the season?
I think that it's a matter, like Parker said, of less than 4.5 goals total in the game, especially because we know how tough Geneseo is to play when they're in your home arena and not theirs. I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a high-shot game, and it'll all come down to goaltending at the end.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great one tonight. We'll be back for the first intermission report. For now, we've set the table, but there's still more cooking in the kitchen. We're going to send things to our guys, Kenny and Mike, in the press box. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you. Welcome up to the Steely press box, where it just got a little bit dark. I'm Kenny Gerard, and I'm joined by WTOP10 Sports Director Mike Neckers. Mike, before we get rolling here, how you doing?
Kenny, I am doing absolutely wonderful. It's a cold night. We're inside the hockey rink, a little warmer. Still chilly in here, though, and can't wait for tonight.
One thing I did notice now, we have an HD camera for our game cam, and man, we look a lot better, I will say. I can see, like, everything. It looks a lot better, Mike. I'm happy about it.
No grainy freckles on our faces. It is great to be in the press box with a full HD game camera here.
Sometimes you show a little bit too much of the SD camera, so I think it's just that perfect middleman mix. But Let's move right into what we're supposed to be talking about here, Mike. Let's talk about the USCHO rankings. For those at home, the USCHO is the national standard for ranking teams and how they decide the NCAA playoffs. And looking here, Hobart remains undefeated after playing Oswego. Beat them 6-1 last night, as you guys saw earlier. A perfect 300 points for first place keeps them in first and got all 20 first place votes for Oswego. They sit at 6th place, and for Geneseo at 14. Mike, take me through the implications of this game on these standings and take me through where you think each of these teams are at and what it can mean for the future.
Yeah, Kenny, for this Oswego team, it has been a rough past few games. Of course, saw the loss to Canton last weekend, and then, of course, last night, a devastating defeat to the Hobart Statesmen. Hobart's been sitting at that one slot all season long. Since the first week of the polls, they're not leaving that slot. I think even if they lose a game, maybe two, I don't see them dropping below that one slot. They've just been so dominant this year. For Oswego, this is a must-win game. They're sitting at the 6th slot. I don't think a loss to Hobart's going to knock them down too much, but if they lose to Geneseo today, we could see Geneseo jump a few places and see Oswego drop a few places as well. So for Oswego, Geneseo, both of these teams, it's a very important game.
And after the loss to Canton, they dropped from that 4 seed all the way down to 6, but they're not far off the tails of St. Norbert in 5th place. They're only 3 points off of them, so they're very close to still being a top 5 team in the country. But let's move in now to the lines of the game. Let's start off with Oswego's line. Mike, for Oswego, the forwards is Connor Gatto, Matt McQuaid, and Tommy Bannister. The defenseman is Drake Semrad and Aiden Cooper, and the starting netminder is going to be Michael Manzi. Take me through it.
Yeah, Kenny, this starting line is star power. I mean, Connor Gatto, the leading goal scorer, Matt McQuaid, the points leader for this Oswego team, Tommy Bannister, quite a few goals on the season as well. So this is really going to be that line where we're going to see a lot happen, I think, today. The defense with Drake Semrad and Aiden Cooper, 2 vets who know what they're doing on the back of the ice. Michael Manzi, kind of the face we weren't expecting to see today. We saw Brandon Milberg in for the start of the Hobart game yesterday for Oswego. Had a rough first and second period, let in 5 goals. Manzi came in, relieved him pretty well, allowed just 1 more, but had some nice saves. So some faith in Manzi from Ed Gosick tonight, and we'll see how things turn out for them.
You know, on the back side of my folder, I got my phonetic spelling, so I know who's on the ice for each game. Every player on the line except for Michael Manzi was starting against Canton the last time they played at home, so they're putting out the exact same squad and can see exactly how they roll. But let's talk about Geneseo starting line. Mike, why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, Kenny, the starting line for Geneseo. On the left wing, Cam Ricotta. The right wing, Philip Weiberg. My apologies, Philip Weiberg in the center. Luke Panchin on the right wing. Sean Melso and Jackson Stimple in the back. And Jacob Tordner between the pipes. What can you tell me about these guys and how they match up with the Lakers, Kenny?
Well, I mean, if you look at the history between both of these teams, Oswego since 2018 is 3-11 against Geneseo, and a lot of these guys have been returners in the last couple of years. So they've had Oswego's number, and one of those wins just came earlier on this season. So it's hard to say exactly what the exact impact will be, but these players have had Oswego's number. This Geneseo team knows how to beat Oswego. They have a star-studded forward 3, so it's going to be tough to beat them. And one thing's for sure, those forwards are going to get a lot on net. But looking at the backside with the defenseman and the goalie, Torkner is no joke. He is a monster between the pipes with a 93.1% save percentage and only averaging just about 2 goals a lot a game. Mike, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
real
Kenny,
tough.
And a lot of ice minutes for this guy. You're not going to look at an Oswego goalie and see anything similar to that. But I want to take a look at this matchup. I mean, these teams are really evenly matched, both averaging 3.8 goals per game. And Geneseo has the advantage on the power play. So I think for Oswego, one of the keys for them is going to be staying out of the penalty box today.
Absolutely, and I guess, yeah, if we could look at some stats while we got a little bit of time. One thing I noticed is Geneseo and Oswego, 3.8 goals per game exact. They are dead tied in that statistic. Power plays, Geneseo leads at 28.7% power play percentage. They have 25 power play goals and 87 attempts this year. But for the other side, Oswego averages less penalties at 3.9 and has a better penalty kill at 90.2% PK, only allowing 6 goals on 61 attempts. So Oswego's defense is probably supposed to be the better one in this one, but Geneseo's offense is supposed to be able to fire on all cylinders. So take me through how that could impact the game.
Yeah, Kenny, absolutely. I think staying out of the box is going to be a key for both of these teams. Geneseo averaging 5 penalties a game. That cannot stand for them for the rest of this game. And again, for Oswego, 4 penalties a game. I saw it last night at the Cooler. Took a trip down to Geneva myself, and the Lakers got themselves into trouble in the first period with penalties, allowed 2 power play goals by the end of the second period. So, I mean, that's going to be a big key, especially tonight. Geneseo might not have as strong of an offense as Hobart, but it's the same thing. I mean, power plays are power plays. It's an easier chance to score a goal.
And it's a storied rivalry between both these squads. Don't get it wrong, now that Geneseo's in the UCH seed, Hobart came on over to the SUNY. They played a lot. This will be their 107th matchup. But Oswego's got their number all time since 1977. Oswego's 63, 37, and 6 against the Ice Knights all time. Last matchup, November 7th, 2025, where Geneseo lost 1-0 to Oswego. final moments here. Mike, anything left?
Well, Kenny, Ed Gosick's had a rough couple of weekends here, looking for redemption. Chris Schultz has been so airtight on the road with this Geneseo team, and can they continue that today? We'll have to wait and find out, but I'm excited to see two great coaches, two great teams battling it out to try and move their way up the rankings for the USCHO polls.
Well, the Lakers have been in a skid since 2018 against Geneseo. Since February 8th, they're 3-11 against the Ice Knights, one of those wins coming this year. Did the Lakers snap the skid, or the Ice Knights come away with yet another victory over the Lakers? We're going to sit it down ringside now for the national anthems of the United States and Canada, and we'll back up to us. We'll see you on the flip.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask all who are able to please stand and remove your caps for the national anthems of Canada and the United States.
Welcome back up to the Celia Press Box. I'm Kenny Gerard, joined by Mike Neckers. And Mike, it's going to be a good one, but let's talk about the Battle of the Netminders tonight. Start me off with Geneseo.
Well, Kenny, as we mentioned in the pregame, Jacob Torgner will be between the pipes for Geneseo. 10-4-1 this season with a 2.08 save per 2.08 goals allowed average per game and a .931 save percentage, but having a phenomenal season so far, as you see on the graphic there. He's ready to go. He's trying to make up a 1-0 loss from earlier this season where Oswego had 52 shots, but take me to the other side of the ice, Kenny.
Well, let's talk about Michael Manzi now in net for Oswego. Again, we talked earlier on in the season about how there's really not a wrong choice in this goalie locker room. 2.34 goals allowed per game at a stellar 91.2% save percentage, a total of 12 games played this season. The freshman goaltender from Delaware, previously played for the Anchorage Wolverines. It's going to be a good one between the netminders and a good one on the ice as we're getting ready for an age-old rivalry. The Oswego State Lakers and the Geneseo Ice Knights are underway. And that first face-off goes all the way down to the Laker end with Semrad getting it. And over to Gatto. He'll pass it up into neutral ice, and Melso will dump it off the boards, picked up by Gatto. Gatto takes it across the blue line, fakes the shot and stolen away by Melso. And looking to get control is Deisman, who puts it into neutral ice under the stick of the captain and all the way over to Bannister and Cooper on the far side boards near the Geneseo bench. And Geneseo will dump it and go for a change.
Yeah, Kenny, really nicely done there by Geneseo, getting it out, getting some fresh legs on the ice.
Back in neutral ice, Lakers do the same thing, dump it to their zone, and they'll go for a change of their own as Geneseo gets possession. And Zarudny passes up, and there's a hit laid up against the boards by Baker. Down goes Melso, and the Lakers get back the puck with Miller. Miller pass up front over to Baker. Baker gets shoved in front again. Miller goes for it, and DeFlorio really a wrecking crew on the ice so far for Geneseo. And Ergo will pass along the boards over to Miller, stolen away by DeFlorio. And Geneseo gets possession as Fudger goes for a hit and whiffs on it. And the Ice Knights get possession. Back down to the Lakers zone. Manzi calls for the icing, won't get it. Geneseo goes for a change, and Bala will pass up to Miller. That'll go under his stick and into the Geneseo zone. Coming up for it now is Wolters. Wolters will pass back over to Kovacs. Kovacs near the boards, gets hit by Burke. Another big hit near the boards, and here comes McDonald and the Ice Knights. McDonald at the face-off circle. Sets it up in front. Stop still loose behind the netting. And stolen away by the Lakers. Geneseo does get possession back with McDonald. Kovacs with it now at the blue line. He'll pass it around the boards. That goes past to Forberg. Forberg with it now at the face-off circle. He'll pass up to Wolters. Over to Kovacs. Kovacs takes a shot, goes wide, left of the net. That one goes into neutral ice and all the way down to the Geneseo zone and across the red line, and that will be blown dead on the icing. Let's take a look at a replay here early on. Sponsored by Juan Zones, Cal Zones. Night is not complete without a Tomcat. Mike, take us away for our Juan Zones replay.
It is not complete without a Tomcat, Kenny, and let's take another look. I mean, the physicality already on full display here as a huge hit into the boards right there. Lakers bringing the heat here early.
Back into the Lakers zone as the face-off on the far side circle. And the Ice Knights get it off the face-off. Geneseo in possession. They'll dump it back around the boards. Gilmore gets it for Oswego. He'll pass up. Over to Cohen. Gets it poked away. Regains possession. Tries to dump it out of the zone, but it's knocked down. And Statuiak couldn't get a stick on it, but it's back into neutral ice. And Melso with it now at the Laker wheel. Pass goes back into Laker zone. Gilmore gets it at the face-off circle. Looks for a pass. He'll find it off the board. Stolen away and poked away. Simons races in for it, and he'll get it back for Oswego. It's up to Vassilo. Vassilo gets it poked away by Diamond and back into the Geneseo zone. They'll call for the icing and won't get it, so Stimple will get possession for Geneseo. Diamond with it now. He goes to the far side boards. Gets hit by Ryan and stolen away by Simons. Whips on the first pass, and it's up to Vassilo. Vassilo gets it poked away again. Zarudny with it now for Geneseo. He'll dump it into neutral ice. Semrad gets a poke at it, and it'll be a leg race into the Lakers zone. Semrad gets hit. Can't get possession of it, and Oswego does take it back. This is with Cooper. Back into neutral ice again. DeFlorio back into his own end. Back and forth between these two squads, both trying to get possession and get a good shot on net. Only one shot registered on the board here, Mike.
Yeah, Kenny, both teams struggling to really make their way into that upper third of the ice, but the neutral zone has been a really nice battle here so far. We'll have to wait and see who gets a shot on net first here.
Zarudny takes a shot. That goes off the pad of Manzi and poked away from the netting by Matt McQuaid and back into neutral ice. And Zarudny with it now. He'll pass it over to DeFlorio. DeFlorio dumps it in the zone, and Geneseo will go for a change as Manzi comes out of the crease to pass it. That's poked away by Geneseo. They get in possession for a second with Regatta. Regatta in front, poked away by Bannister. Off the boards towards Semrad. Semrad has to spin around to go for it. Here comes McQuaid. Looks for a hit, doesn't take it. Zarudny keeps it on side for Geneseo. Back around the boards to the far side. Panchizin with it now for Geneseo. Panchizin pass over to Wolters. Backward to Panchizin, takes a shot. Puck still loose in the crease in front. And he lays on it, and he'll freeze it down, and that's a save for Michael Manzi.
Yeah, Kenny, really nicely done by Michael Manzi, the freshman, getting a start something we didn't exactly expect tonight, but so far he's shown why he's in between the pipes tonight and doing a great job laying out there. Got a little sloppy at first, but covered it right up.
Face-off coming on the near side, face-off circle. That one goes to the Lakers. Here's Baker with it now in his own end. Baker will pass it up, way past Miller and all the way through the 50 feet of neutral ice and across the red line. Well, WTOP has a great lineup of fully student-produced original shows. With both hits from our show archive to our new episodes of everyone's favorites, it can all be found on our YouTube channel or on our website, WTOP10.com.
And just for those of you who don't know, you're currently watching WTOP10.com.
Wonderful, Mike. It's a great analysis from our color commentator. That one goes into neutral ice, and Walters gets it near his own. Bench dumps it back to the Geneseo zone, and the first time that Torgner has had to touch the puck tonight, and this one will be frozen.
Yeah, Kenny, and Walters lost his helmet on that collision over there right in front of the Geneseo bench. Glad to see he's up and all right, but now a face for the Lakers, and really their first time in this offensive zone. Maybe a dangerous position for them, and Torgner might have his work cut out for him.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been shocking how little shots we've had. Only 3 shots on goal from Geneseo and 1 from Oswego, and it speaks to the defense of both of these squads. It'll be interesting to see if the offenses can pick it up with just about 4 minutes and 10 seconds gone here in this one. Stemple gets it off the face-off in Geneseo zone. They'll pass it off the glass. Glass staying intact this game, unlike the last one, and into neutral ice it goes. Stemple with it now down the near side. He'll take it across the blue line to the face-off circle. He'll take a shot in front. Manzi pokes it away and saves it.
Yeah, Kenny, and a little scary there. Some extracurriculars between Jonathan Bala and Geneseo player. I believe that's Danny Bagnoli. But Manzi bobbling the puck in front of net, not something you necessarily want to see if you're an Oswego Lakers fan right now. Let's take another look at this one. There's Manzi on the One Zones Cal Zones replay.
Face-off goes to the Lakers in their own end. That's off the glass from Cohen and all the way down into the Geneseo end. It's a leg race for it. Melso pokes it back, and it's over to Stemple. Stemple gets hit from behind, but the Ice Knights do get it back, and they'll get it into neutral ice and get back down to their offensive end. Manzi thinks about coming out of the crease. He won't. He's got a Laker down with him, but a good chance there for Forberg. Can't get a handle on it, and down he goes, and Oswego gets possession back. Cohen with it now near his own bench. That gets taken away by Zarudny. Zarudny's pass over the blue line and back over to Horacek. Horacek all tangled up with Forberg. Bouncing puck goes back to Geneseo with Zarudny. Zarudny gets it poked away, and we'll have a board battle for the puck that pops out into the corner for Cohen. Cohen will go around the boards for it. Geneseo with possession at the time being. Diamond dumps it into the zone. It's knocked down by Simons in front of the bench, and he'll dump it away as Oswego will go for a change.
Yeah, Kenny, and this Geneseo team has come out really fast, pressing high and not giving the Lakers any room to breathe.
Manzi way out of the crease, pokes it away towards the far side boards, and Torgner has it now for Geneseo. Pass it across the ice and over to Semrad, who takes it away. Drake Semrad down the near side. He'll pass over to Vassilo on the rush. In front to Semrad, can't knock it down, and he gets leveled into the boards. And a couple of big hits there from Geneseo, but Oswego does get possession again in their end. That's over to Ryan. Ryan trying to make a move, tangled up with DeFlorio, and a good stop there from DeFlorio, not allowing him any room to breathe to get a shot off as Simons gets banged up against the boards, and down he goes. Into the corner again. Ergo comes in for a hit. Whiffs on it, gets the puck back. Fudger comes in, hits his own man, and they both go down. And the Geneseo Ice Knights get it back, but into neutral ice. It'll be taken back by Bala. They'll dump it to the far side corner.
Yeah, Kenny, and Oswego on Oswego collision down there behind the Geneseo net. Fudger and Ergo both going to hit the Geneseo player and ducked out of the way just in time.
Deisman's pass over to the corner. It's Deisman. Can't find it. Geneseo does get possession back with Gatewood. Gatewood pass over across the blue line, goes too far back. It'll force the reset. And Walters will give it back over to Gatewood. Gatewood gets hit by Bala and taken away by Ergo. Ergo dumps it across the ice and off the glass to Walters for Geneseo, and the Ice Knights get possession back with Kovacs. Kovacs up to Gatewood at the wheel. They'll dump it back into the Lakers zone, and Deisman will go off the ice for a change for Geneseo. Oswego gets possession back. Bala now with it behind the red line. They'll pass off the boards over to McQuaid. McQuaid can't get a poke on it. It's over to Bannister. That's up to Gatto. Gatto on a rush into the face-off circle. Takes a shot, goes high. That'll go back around the boards with the rebound to Baker. They'll take a shot, but it's blocked in front. McQuaid can't get a stick on it, and they'll take it back. Here comes Regatta now. That'll be dumped back into Lakers zone. Manzi decides to stay in net. Gilmore comes down for it. Lays a hit. Regatta does too. And the Ice Knights get it back. Shot from Walters goes wide, and it was poked by a Laker in front. Nice block. Walters keeps it onside. Gatto comes storming in. Weberg loses glove as well, so does Gatto. And still possession is Geneseo in the offensive end. Through all that chaos, they still have the puck and still with a chance. Back around the boards, poked away by Gatto. Gatto trying to get it out of the zone, and they will. Here comes Bannister to his own bench again. They'll dump that one away. A long shift for the Lakers, and they'll go for a complete change.
Yeah, Kenny, maybe call it fatigue, maybe call it sloppiness here after a big loss last night, but this Oswego defense needs to be better about getting the puck out of their defensive zone, even just getting it into the neutral zone to try and give themselves an offensive opportunity, because right now it is all Geneseo.
And that was a long shift there for the Lakers. They need to get it out of the zone. Geneseo had it for quite a long time. It kept moving around and having good chances to get shots off, but the defense is really laying out for it. But that was a long shift, Mike. I could see the fatigue on the ice.
Yeah, Kenny, some fresh legs on the ice for Oswego now. We see Drake Semrad in the back for him.
Lakers have it now in the offensive end. Pass poked down. Geneseo trying to get it back with Walters. Walters and Cooper tangled up for it. And Walters will poke it out of the zone high in the air and back down to the Oswego zone. Off the boards, there's another huge hit in the corner. And a lot of physicality here early on, Mike, as that one goes into the crowd.
Yeah, Kenny, some huge hits. Maybe Oswego, some pent-up rage from last night's 6-1 loss to the defending national champions. See a huge hit in the corner down there, and they've got the work cut out for them again tonight. Another ranked opponent. Let's take another look at this one. And now the face-off here, Kenny, for the Lakers. It's Burke and Forberg for the Knights.
Face-off goes to the Lakers in front with a chance. Was Forberg, couldn't get off the shot in time. Wide open in front of Manzi. It's taken back by Semrad and the Lakers. Here comes Drake Semrad now. He'll take it across the red line. He goes down. There's a penalty coming against Geneseo.
Yeah, Kenny, and delayed for the moment, but not for long. Geneseo quickly takes the puck back, and now a 5-on-4 power play for Oswego. We talked about it in the pregame. This Geneseo team averaging 5 penalties per game. They've got to change something. Let's take another look at this penalty. You see Lakers coming down the ice, and Semrad just taken out there by Bagnoli.
Oswego will go on a 2-minute power play, 5-on-4 advantage for the Lakers. They'll get the first crack at a power play today. Again, talking about how good Geneseo has been in the power play, and Oswego on the penalty kill. We'll see the opposite of that as the faceoff gets blown dead right off the rip and only takes a second off the clock. Bagnoli will go into the penalty box for Geneseo. So again, it's 5-on-4 for Oswego. Mike, take me into the importance of this particular power play early on.
Yeah, Kenny, I mean, early on, the Lakers haven't had a lot of momentum so far. So to get this power play this early is a really good chance for them to try and build some up and carry it into the rest of the period.
Geneseo gets it shorthanded off of the opening faceoff of the power play, and Walters has possession shorthanded. He'll pass up. Here come the Ice Knights, and they'll dump it into the zone, but that'll be chased quickly down by Stakowiak. Stakowiak and Baker tangled up. Gatto gets it, and here come the Lakers now on the power play. Geneseo kills 15 seconds off the clock with that. Pass back to Gatto into the corner. Korchak chasing down as Walters dumps it around the boards. Baker comes up for it. Stakowiak and McQuaid tangled up for the puck. Into the corner again it goes. Burke and McQuaid going for it. McQuaid with possession for Oswego. Passes back. Unable to get anything going. The penalty kill is working very well for Geneseo as Baker can't keep it on side of the blue line, and back into neutral ice it'll go. That stays inside of the arena. It didn't go into the bench, so we'll play on. Horacek takes a whiff at it. McQuaid gets it back, and the Lakers just can't get it going here on the power play. Here's Baker now with a chance. Takes a shot, goes high. Burke there off the rebound. Over to Bannister. Bannister, pass over to Baker. Behind the skate of Burke, and it goes behind him and in across the blue line and the offsides, and a very sloppy start to this Oswego power play.
Kenny, you took the words right out of my mouth. Sloppy is the word I would use. 53 seconds remaining in the power play, so still a chance. But let's take another look. I mean, the Lakers get a couple shots off, but just nothing super dangerous for this Geneseo team, and there's the mistake, just off the skate of Burke.
Face off in neutral ice near the blue line of Oswego is won by Geneseo and whacked down into the Oswego end. And Geneseo having an excellent penalty kill here early on. Geneseo has been solid all year with an 81.1% PK. They allow 14 goals on 74 attempts. Oswego trying to be the 15th one of the season. Here comes Semrad now down the near side, and that one's blown dead. It's going to be another offsides.
Yeah, and Kenny, this is not the Oswego team that we usually see. I mean, not the best power play percentage this season, but this is something completely different from what we've seen them do at home this season, and they've got to clean this up if they want to have a chance moving forward here.
And Geneseo has been absolutely dominant on the defensive end of the ice tonight, and that does not change here on the penalty kill for them as they dumped it out of the zone, and will take some more time off the clock for Oswego. Manzi comes out of the crease to give it up to Bannister. As Bannister looks to get the power play going for Oswego. Just about 20 seconds remain here, a 5-on-4 for the Lakers. Bannister pass up to Vassilo, back into the Oswego zone. Vassilo can't get a stick on it, knocked down by Semrad. Trying to keep in the zone is Bannister. That one's blown dead off a hand pass, and Semrad is not happy about the call, and here comes some extracurriculars between McDonald and the Lakers into the far side corner. And Mike, it's again, we've talked about physicality in this one. Whew, man, it's not changing at all, actually.
Yeah, Kenny, McDonald and Bannister still exchanging words over there as Drake Semrad joins the fun. I mean, this is we knew this was going to be a physical battle coming into it tonight, but I think it's already exceeded our expectations. These two teams are battling it out as there it is right there in the replay.
Face off near the blue line of the Geneseo zone is won by Oswego. Power play effectively killed off with just a couple of ticks left on the clock. And Geneseo does return to full strength as Bagnoli comes back on the ice for the Ice Knights. Hit up alongside the boards by Simons. Over to Fudger, who gets it back in the zone, and Geneseo takes it back with the Florio. So Oswego goes 0 for 1 on the power play, and a good penalty kill to start off for the Ice Knights as Diamond gets laid out by Fudger. And back into the Oswego zone it goes. Gilmore with it now. He'll take it behind Manzi. Look to get things going. Here's Nico Payon down the near side. Payon tries to dump it to the corner, gets knocked down in front. Here's a chance for Ergo. Puck still loose in the crease and poked away by Torgner. Demeski passes it over to Zarutny. Manzi pokes back. Neither of them saw it between McQuaid and Baker. Baker finally gets a stick on it, and Bannister, puck still bouncing in the corner. Over to Gilmore as Gilmore gets it now for Oswego. Plenty of critical mistakes so far from this Oswego team, and it's been their Achilles heel in this one. Here's McQuaid now, back over to Gatto. Gatto gets it poked away by Wolters, and back around the boards it goes. Kovacs pass it up for Geneseo over to Regatta. Regatta pass back to Wolberg, and here comes Wolters. Wolters down the far side. This one will be blown dead, and some extracurriculars now with Bala near Manzi at the net. And these two teams, man, no love lost when they went to the UCHC. These two old school SUNYAC rivals still going at it.
Yeah, Kenny, and Jonathan Bala's got to have a fire burning under him tonight. That I think the third time after the whistle we've seen him getting into it with a Geneseo player. So certainly something to keep an eye on as the game moves on tonight. The Lakers need to keep their heads level here tonight, though. They cannot afford to take trips to the penalty box.
Faceoff goes about nowhere as Baker gets it now for Oswego. He'll pass it off the glass to Horacek, who knocks it down. Horacek down the far side all the way around the boards as Melso gets it back for Geneseo. Melso's pass gets knocked down. Trying to get possession back is the Ice Knights, and they will. Poked away by Cohen. That'll go down to the Oswego zone, and that'll be blown dead on the icing. Well, if you like action, romance, and highbrow humor, you might want to check out Oh Boy, a show so funny it'll make you say, oh boy! Watch only on WTOP 10.
Yeah, Kenny, a great show and a great check there by Ryan Burke to take possession away from the Knights and force this faceoff down here in the offensive zone.
Oh boy, here we go again, Mike. This is going to be a good one. Far side faceoff in the Geneseo zone. Both teams unable to get anything by, and again, it's just been very tight on shots on goal. Not many for either squad, only 4 for Geneseo and 2 for Oswego. The defenses have been clicking on all cylinders as here comes Geneseo with Forberg. Forberg rushing down, takes a shot, poked away by Cooper. All tangled up is shot again in front, saved by Manzi, wraparound rebound, and doesn't go anywhere again. And a couple of nice saves from Michael Manzi and a couple of good blocks from the Oswego defense to save a goal from getting on the board. Geneseo with it again in the offensive end. Poked away. Kept on side by Stimple. Horacek trying to get across the blue line. Stimple keeps it on side for Geneseo. They'll give it over to Melso. Melso takes a shot that goes wide of the net. It'll just be a pass off the boards to Bagnoli. Bagnoli will wrap it back around the boards over towards Manzi, who pokes it back. Semrad can't get a stick on it. That one goes into the back of the netting, and poke from behind is a Laker, and this one might get a little bit ugly, and they'll just decide to skate away as there's been plenty of altercations in this one, Mike.
Yeah, Kenny, Ryan Burke, and Jack McDonald behind the goal this time, but we got to take another look at that triple save from Michael Manzi. I mean, here's the goalie cam coming in from the far side, and Manzi does a great job of just slowing down the play, but not smart there from the Lakers, just putting the puck right in front of net while the goalie's not there.
Face-off on the far side face-off circle of the Oswego zone, and it goes to the Lakers. Payon tangled up with Deisman for it. Payon gets a stick on it, poked down by Demeski. And Demeski trying to get possession for it, and Payon comes away with it. Here come the Lakers now with Simons. Simons can't get a stick on it. DeFlorio knocks it back in the zone, and all the way back around the zone as a Laker gets absolutely lit up on the boards, and there's been a lot of nice hits in this one. Great old school physical hockey between these two squads in their 107th matchup. Simons with it now down the near side. He'll pass off the boards to Vassilo. Vassilo near the red line. He'll pass up to Payon. Payon gives over to Gilmore, looks for a lane. He gets stolen away by Deisman. Here come the Ice Knights with Deisman. Deisman outnumbered looking for a lane. He'll slow it down and allow the offense to come join him. That's over to Demeski. Demeski takes it around behind the red line. He'll pass it up to Zarudny. There's a shot. They score! And the Ice Knights score first, and it's 1-0 Geneseo.
Yeah, Kenny, and a beautifully taken goal there from Nick Kovacs. The defenseman, a slap shot from deep, just snipes it right in. Looks like it took a deflection, but you see it all develops behind the net. They take their time, perfectly drawn up, and right past the glove side of Manzi.
Goal replay brought to you by Wanzone's Calzones, and it was a good slapper right from the blue line, a long shot, and it got just under the glove of Manzi, and a beautiful shot for Geneseo to take the 1-0 lead. And here comes Torkner now out of the crease to pass it over as Geneseo does take the early lead with 6 minutes left to go here in the first period. Fudger pass back, and it's over to Kovacs, the recent goal scorer for the Ice Knights. Walters off the board, Simpson chases down for Oswego. Simpson gets a stick on it. Fudger tries a whiff at a pass. He'll go down. And Ergo with it, bouncing puck. He'll just dump it back into neutral ice as Melso picks it up for Geneseo. It's over to Walters. Walters goes over to Baker. And Baker with it now for Oswego. Looks to go behind Manzi, gets swarmed. And Geneseo looks to steal it away, but Bannister gets to it first. That's down to McQuaid. McQuaid looks for a lane over to Bannister. Pass broken up by Melso. Beautiful poke from Melso and the Ice Knights to prevent a wide open lane for Tommy Bannister and the Lakers. Off the glass, back into neutral ice near the red line, and here come the Geneseo Ice Knights with Regatta. Regatta dumps into the corner as Geneseo goes for a change, and Gatto passes back. Gatto gets it again in the corner. Gatto can't get a stick on it. It's over to Cooper, and Semrad gets it back for Oswego, still trapped in their own zone. They'll dump it all over the wheel past McQuaid, and Melso gets it again. Melso pass goes wide to Regatta, and that's over to Cooper, who passes up to Bannister. Going with it now at the face-off circle, makes a move. Forberg on the defense, pokes it away, and Stimple gets it back for Geneseo. Burke tries to take a shot. Puck was loose in front. Nobody there for the rebound. Bala comes storming down. Back around the boards it goes. Forberg with it for Geneseo. And the Ice Knights now in their own end trying to get it out of the zone and get it going to the offense as Cohen tries to knock it back in the zone, but he'll still force a reset as it went across the blue line. Back around the boards it goes. Geneseo comes down to get it again. Stimple, pass around the boards. Over to McDonald. Poked away by the Lakers. McDonald gets it back. Here comes McDonald now. Geneseo with a chance on the rush. That's over to Gatewood. Pass it over. Melso in front. It's saved by Manzi. And Manzi's getting tangled up with an Ice Knight, and no one takes offense to that one, and the crowd is letting them hear it how they felt as Oswego goes for a change. Mike, take me through that one.
Yeah, Kenny, looked like Manzi got tangled up with an Ice Knight and also with his own teammate Jonathan Bala right in the crease. Not something you want to see, but a really nice first save, and the defense able to save that one and get the puck out of harm's way.
Gilmore with it now in neutral ice. He'll pass up to Simon. Simon's into the offensive end for Oswego. Melso gets a stick on it for Geneseo, but it's kept on sides. Gilmore takes a shot. Too much traffic in front, and the Ice Knights get it back, but it's over to Gilmore again, who pokes it back towards his own. Here comes Vassilo down the far side. Vassilo takes a shot, goes high. Bannister goes in for the rebound, but it's taken away by the Ice Knights. Pass over off the boards. Here comes Demeski. Demeski pokes it away from a Laker, and Bannister gets it back. Bannister looks for a lane. Bannister takes a shot. Saved! And Torkner makes a beautiful save right into his chest plate.
Yeah, Kenny, not the most dangerous shot there by Tommy Bannister. You got to take where you can get, though. Puts it right into the chest there of Torkner. Let's take another look here at this Geneseo attack. Right in front, and a huge save there from Michael Manzi. See, gets tangled up, and now here's that shot from Tommy Bannister down the right side. Comes flying in, a tough angle, well cut off by the defenseman, and right into the chest plate of Torkner.
Geneseo gets it off the face-off. Deisman can't keep a stick on it, so Semrad gets it back. Knocked back on sides by Deisman, but coming to the near side is Cooper, who will pass it. Kovacs knocks it right into the hand of Horacek and into the bench, and we'll get another stoppage of play.
Yeah, and you saw Deisman come in, give McQuaid a little shove into the bench there after the play. McQuaid keeps his cool, though. The Lakers need to do that. Just because they're down 1-0 does not mean they're out of this game by any means. They need to stay with their heads locked into this game and stay positive. They've still got 40 minutes and some change left here.
Face off near the blue line of the Geneseo zone on the near side goes right to the Ice Knights with Wolters. Here comes Wolters down the far side past his own bench. Wolters sets up, pass to Diamond. Diamond takes a shot that's blocked by Gatto. Ed Kovacs will pass it around the boards. Cooper tangled up near the puck. Bannister comes down for it. Torgner gets a stick on it. Knocked down by Diamond. Puck still bouncing, and Gatto looks to get it near the boards, and he will dump it out of the zone. Wolters whiffs on the pass. Here's a chance now for McQuaid. McQuaid shoots it, and it's high and into the netting.
And the captain did not get a hold of that one, Kenny. Goes flying way above the goal into the netting. Looked like it might have cleared the netting there for a second, but stayed down enough. Let's take another look. A mistake there on the defensive end, and McQuaid takes advantage, puts the shot on, and looks like it took a deflection off the stick of the defender there. So well played by the Geneseo Knights.
Lakers get it off the face-off. Here's Horacek, backhand shot. Puck still loose in front, and diving way out of the crease is Torgner. Oh, what a stop for Torgner. That was a risky play that paid off.
Yeah, Kenny, and I got excited there for a second. I saw the net start to shake, not the puck, just a stick going into it. Great opportunity for the Lakers, and now another chance here.
Face-off on the far side of the Geneseo zone. Goes to the Ice Knights, but Vassilo gets back there quickly. And Geneseo gets possession with Doherty. Weiberg will pass it over. Bala chasing to the corner. He's followed by Regatta and Weiberg. And that one's going to be blown dead. A penalty is coming. Waiting to see on exactly who, as a Laker is down on the ice as well as Weiberg.
Yeah, Kenny, and a big hit there from Weiberg. Very high up. Looks like Bala's a little slow to get up, but up at least to one knee, so we'll wait and see. Let's take another look at this hit. I mean, Bala just up against the glass, defenseless, and very high right into the back of the head there. So definitely going to be a trip to the penalty box for Weiberg.
Yeah, Weiberg will go to the penalty box, what I'm presuming to be a boarding call going against Geneseo. That'll be their second penalty of the night, as Weiberg's already in the penalty box, as Bala gets back on both of his skates, and the crowd applauds him. Glad to see that he is on his own 2 feet and skating off of the ice. Captains, Matt McQuaid for Oswego and Deisman for Geneseo, waiting for the ref's decision on exactly what the call will be. One thing is for sure, Weiberg is in the penalty box, and there will be a power play coming for Oswego with 2:02 left on the clock for the first period, so this will effectively make the rest of the first an Oswego State power play.
Yeah, Kenny, and I will say the second Weiberg laid out that hit, he knew that he made a mistake. You saw him instantly consoling Jonathan Bala, checking to make sure he was okay. It's good to see we can still see that sportsmanship out here, especially with such a heated rivalry and such a big competitive nature between these two teams.
Refs now talking to the captains to decide exactly what is going on, as Weiberg may get a 5-minute major as he's going out of the penalty box. He will probably be ejected from this one after the boarding. Looks like Bala might have gone down. He did look remorseful, and it is going to be a 5-minute major on Weiberg. It is an unsportsmanlike call, and we're going to have 5 minutes of 5-on-4. So that's going to end the first period with a power play, and still leave 3 minutes if the Lakers can't get it done in the next 2:02. A huge penalty against Geneseo, and a replay of it here again, brought to you by Juan Zones. Bala goes for it and gets absolutely demolished by Weiberg into the glass, and it was a dirty hit, and it will be effectively called that way with the major penalty going against the Ice Knights.
Yeah.
So Oswego with a great chance here, Mike.
Yeah, Kenny, a great chance. Of course, Weiberg not being on the ice any longer is going to be a big hit for this Geneseo team. I mean, he's on that first line playing in the center. He's the guy who directs the play of the game for this Geneseo offense on that first line. So we'll see Danny Bagnoli go to the penalty box to serve the penalty for him, and the Lakers with 5 minutes of man-up action now.
A golden chance for the Lakers, looking for the green to get one behind the netminder Torgner as they go on the power play for the next 5 minutes. Only 2 minutes remain here in the first, though, so they don't get it done here in the first as Gatewood whiffs off the dump and Baker gets it back. And we'll start the second period with 3 minutes of Oswego State power play. Horacek back around the boards. There's another hit along to the boards as Baker comes in for it. Burke tangled up. Pass over to McQuaid. He'll keep it onside. Gets it poked away, and it's knocked out of the zone. Geneseo still clicking on the penalty kill.
Yeah, and McQuaid loses the puck again. Just sloppy play from this Oswego team in the first all around. Just little mistakes like that that they cannot afford to have in a game like this.
Here's a chance now, shorthanded for Geneseo. It's McDonald. McDonald looks for a lane, takes a shot. Puck still loose, and it's saved by Manzi, but it goes out of the crease without being able to be frozen, so Oswego will keep the play going. Here comes Horacek now. He'll take it to neutralize it up to Baker. Baker gets it poked away and dumped right back into the Oswego zone. Manzi way out of the crease to stop it. No one there yet as a nice night is waiting patiently for it. It's Regatta. Less than a minute remains here in the first period. Baker with it now. Baker pass over to Miller. Miller off the boards over to McQuaid. McQuaid face-off circle. Shot goes wide. Here's Bannister with it now. Bannister back over to Cohen. Cohen over to Gilmore. Gilmore takes it around the blue line over to Bannister at the face-off circle again. Bannister down low. Miller pass off the boards to Cohen. Cohen loses his footing going for the puck, but gets back on his skates. It's over to Miller. Stolen away by Geneseo and knocked out of the zones by Melso.
Yeah, Kenny, and what a save we saw from Michael Manzi there just moments ago. Got the glove there just in time. Wasn't able to scoop up the puck, but did enough, and the Lakers defense did the rest, got the puck out.
Less than 15 seconds left here in the first. Storming down is Vassilo with it now. Oswego going to try and get a quick goal before the period ends, and that will go out of the zone. And that should pretty much effectively end the first period. There won't be enough time left, and a high stick is called anyway to cause another stoppage with 2.2 seconds left here in the first. So, pending some sort of crazy miracle goal, this should end the first period. Oswego will go on a power play for 2 minutes and 58 seconds after the 5-minute major to start off the second period. Mike, it's going to be an interesting start to the second.
Well, Kenny, I think it's very simple. This Oswego team came out flat-footed on their heels. They cannot afford to do this against a ranked opponent like Geneseo. As you'll see, they'll pack in front of the net now, not even trying to let a shot come through towards Manzi.
Forberg lose the face-off off the glass, and that will end the first period between the Lakers and the Ice Knights. And after one, it's Geneseo 1, Oswego nothing. 9 shots on net for Geneseo and 5 shots on net for Oswego. Oswego currently sitting at 0 for 2 in the power play because they have not finished this one yet. Geneseo unable to get a power play yet, so a couple of penalties going against the Ice Knights and a huge 5-minute major that took Weberg out of the game. Mike, take me through the first a little bit here.
Well, Kenny, it was certainly a struggle for the Lakers, starting out very slow, as I just said, on their heels, and it looked like the Knights were just out-skating them from the puck drop. I mean, didn't seem like they could do anything right on the offensive end of the ice. Just every time they got it, a little mistake or a little accident would screw things up for them. So certainly something that they need to work on and fix moving into the second period. But for Geneseo, I mean, they're playing great. They're applying heavy pressure on that Oswego defense and doing everything right, and up 1-0 because of it.
Well, let's send it now down to our rinkside reporter, Jen, who's joined by number 27 for the Geneseo Ice Knights, Kovacs. Jen, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on the rink with Knights defenseman Nick Kovacs. Nick, you scored the first and only goal in that first period. Can you tell me what it feels like to go into the second period with that 1-goal advantage?
We just got to keep playing how we are, but stay out of the box. We just got to kill this thing off.
And like you said, speaking of boxes, obviously your team is going into the second period with a little bit of a penalty. So what are you going to do to keep generating opportunities for yourself and your team with that disadvantage?
We just got to kill this off, basically, and get pucks in deep and keep grinding at the net.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nick, for your time. Good luck the rest of the game. I'm Jen Sally, your ringside reporter. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Nick. And Mike, any closing thoughts here before we wrap up the first?
I mean, Kenny, you pretty much heard everything I had to say already. This Oswego team had a rough couple of weeks. This is a must-win game for them in my eyes. I mean, can't lose a third straight.
Well, we'll let you look at some highlights of the first period, and then it'll be time for our first intermission show with our perch. Thanks for joining us here in the press box. We'll see you to start the second.
And welcome back to the Perch here during the first intermission report. Once again, Eddie McAlpine alongside Michelle Smith and Parker Voris. What an interesting first period. You know, we've seen both sides kind of now getting at it as we saw that late ejection on behalf of the Geneseo Knights, but there was a goal scored. So we'll start with the only goal we saw in that period. Michelle, you want to walk us through that one?
Yeah, sure. That was an insane one-timer. I personally didn't see it coming. I don't think Manzi did either. I think in any other situation, if he would have seen that coming from right out front of the blue line, he would have blocked that goal. Really just a great shot there. Really insane from Nick Kovacs. Really, I believe that was his first goal of the season. And again, that one-timer from the blue line, no one, I don't think, was expecting that. There wasn't a lot of defense out in front of it to get that stop before it got to Manzi, and that's how I think it snuck through.
Yeah, the production coming from an unexpected guy out there on the ice for the Knights. As you just saw, that was only the 5th goal of his career, primarily a defenseman for Geneseo. But speaking of production, Parker, the Lakers started the game with their most productive line, Gatto, McQuaid, and Bannister. A lot of speed to start the game. What did you see from that top line out there in that period?
Yeah, they were good for Oswego, but they weren't able to get anything going on the offensive end. It was really just shut down defense by the Geneseo Knights, just kind of outpacing Oswego early to start this one. That first line is definitely going to have a lot to work to do and a lot to talk about going in the second period. But a positive for the Lakers, they still have 2:58 left on that power play, which we'll definitely be talking about.
Absolutely. Of course, that 5-minute major penalty there at the end of the first period, a result of the ejection by the Geneseo Knights. But keeping it with that first line, Michelle, the Lakers rolled out Drake Semrad and Aiden Cooper, two of their more physical defensemen. We saw a lot of physicality there in that first period.
Yeah, definitely. A note I made early on, I wrote physicality but no penalties until almost halfway through the first, and then I said this is clean hockey, hard, or classic hockey, excuse me, hard and clean. Obviously that took a little bit of a shift there at the last few minutes as the clock ticked down, but that first penalty, it was a tripping. You know, that could happen to anybody. It really didn't come as a result of any sort of really physical hit like we see there. Some nice hits on the ice, but very physical, and for the most part, a clean game so far.
Yeah, the Lakers started hot. I mean, Travis Baker had a big hit just about a minute into the game, and Ryan Burke had another one about 90 seconds in, so they showed that physicality early, but it goes both ways. I mean, the Knights were looking to respond. We saw Jonathan Bala, unfortunately, leave the game late in that period. We'll look to see if he'll come back into this game, but for now, let's talk the goalie plays, Parker. What did you see from Michael Manzi? I mean, he was tested early and often, but Manzi really held his own out there.
Yeah, Manzi, he looked solid, he looked calm, and he looked collected, kind of taking what he saw against Hobart last night. You're not going to see teams like Hobart very often, if any, at this level of Division III hockey. Coming into Geneseo, I think that last period against Hobart really tested him, and he's ready for the matchup against this Geneseo Knights team. He did let that one goal in. I personally think I looked at you for that goal, and I was like, what a one-timer that was. But Manzi still has to save that goal. But coming into the second period, I think Manzi is going to continue being locked down between the pipes.
Absolutely, and Michelle, Jacob Turner wasn't tested too much, but he looked pretty good for those few opportunities the Lakers got. How was he looking out there for the Geneseo Knights?
Yeah, definitely. Turner definitely made some great saves, and there wasn't too much. Geneseo is out shooting Oswego, and they're having some better shot opportunities than Oswego are. I think that Oswego just needs to clean up their passing, worry a little bit less about landing hits in their offensive zone, and more about getting those shots in deep.
So the Lakers will start the second period on the power play with just about 3 minutes left in it, but they wasted a power play earlier in that first period, Parker. There was an opportunity where Colin Vasilo had a great cross to Drake Semrad, but he wasn't able to convert. So talk about how important these missed opportunities can be in the long run, especially on the power play.
Yeah, the Lakers, they've been so good all season converting on the power play, about 28% conversion percentage on the power play. And like you talked about, Semrad just was so close to converting, but the Lakers, it feels like recently they've had a lot of missed opportunities in that Canton game as well. They just couldn't capitalize on the opportunities. And against a team like Geneseo, who's nationally ranked 14th in the nation, you have to capitalize on those opportunities because you're not going to get a lot of chances to score against teams like Geneseo.
And in the first 10 minutes, Michelle, the Knights outshot the Lakers. Now, how can the Lakers respond and kind of test Turner later in this game because they didn't get a lot of opportunities there in that first period?
I think it definitely comes back to that passing again. Geneseo plays really well. They skate well and they connect their passes. You can hear every pass. It's crisp, it's hard. They know who they're passing to. They have their eyes on their man before the puck leaves their stick. I think that, again, Oswego needs to worry more about connecting those passes. They usually do a little better in the second period. They come out a little bit harder going into their offensive zone. And for some reason, I've noticed when they come to this end of the ice where our perch is, they do tend to play a little more clean as far as getting their man. So I think that definitely passing is the name of the game here, if not power plays. I wasn't expecting a lot of power play opportunities this game. I've been proven wrong, obviously. I think that it comes down to power plays and passing to really get some shots in that are valuable.
Absolutely. The Knights have been passing their way around this Lakers defense, but the goalie play has really been the headline for that for those Lakers out there, especially coming off of Milberg's poor performance last night, Parker, allowing, I believe it was 5 goals in about a period and a half. So Michael Manzi really holding his own. What are you seeing from Manzi out there in response to the loss last night?
Yeah, Manzi had a save with about 7.5 minutes, multiple saves, just facing pressure after pressure, and it was like he had the save where he just caught it with his glove, and there was also a time where a bunch of the Lakers players fell on top of him, but Manzi just making save after save for the Oswego State Lakers, and like I talked about a little bit earlier against Hobart, I think Hobart really set him up for tonight against Geneseo, as we're just seeing save after save. Geneseo applying pressure, and Manzi is just handling it perfectly for the Oswego State Lakers tonight. It's been a question all season, like you talked about. Who are we going to see for the Lakers? You got Manzi, Milberg, and McCarthy, the 3 M's for the Oswego State Lakers. Manzi has been getting the nod recently. It has been Milberg a little bit too, but Manzi's really holding his own tonight. I think if he keeps playing this way, head coach Ed Gosek is going to keep rolling with this guy, Manzi.
Absolutely, and despite allowing 1 goal there, he had some great saves. He was tested often, and there was a lot of pressure on him throughout that period. But on the other side, the Lakers offense not really able to put pressure on the Geneseo Knights. I saw Mikey Ergo had a great look in the crease, but how do the Lakers continue to get those chances?
Definitely. It is a little bit hard because, like you said, the goaltending from Geneseo was very strong. I think they have to worry a little bit less, especially in situations where they're on the power play. They already are a man up. I think that you need to worry less about landing hits in that area and more about, again, I sound like a broken record at this point, but connecting those passes, getting those shots in. Shot count does not matter if they're not going to be on goal. That needs to be your focus. You don't need to land a hit on every player on every play. You need to worry about where the puck is and how close you're going to get it to going in.
And Parker, with about 4 minutes left in the period, Manzi had another beautiful save. And we were talking, that might be a missed interference call. Of course, the Knights already tagged with 2 penalties early in this one, but potentially a third there that we missed. Kind of walk us through that and what you saw out there.
Yeah, so for Oswego, Manzi made a great save, but there was a Oswego player down in the zone of the goalie's area for Oswego, but there was also a Knights player in the zone as well. Just when that kind of stuff happens in hockey, something like that has to be called, as we're seeing it here. Just as a shot on net, Manzi made the save, and then Geneseo was just stuck in that area for multiple seconds, and Manzi falls on top of his own player, and no call. I mean, I was kind of shocked there was nothing called there, and you as well, Michelle.
Yeah, definitely. There's a party in the crease. I think the fact that the Geneseo player wasn't really tangled up with Oswego at all, he just kind of lurked there until he ended up almost pushing that Manzi trip over his own player into progress there.
Potentially a missed call, but we are not going to miss this chance to check in with our SUNYAC analyst, Lucas McGarry, who's standing by with more on the SUNYAC conference. Lucas, what can you tell us now?
Thank you very much, Eddie. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SUNYAC Breakdown. I'm Lucas McGarry. 4 o'clock today saw the start of 4 SUNYAC matchups that shook up the standings I was just talking about. First game we're going to take a look at is Buffalo State Bengals taking on the Skidmore Thoroughbreds. And it was a scoreless and slow first period, partially due to some Tommy Aiken of Skidmore, who had 21 saves. As we'll see here, Tommy Aiken, he's going to record a save right here. Beautiful, nice, clean save. And like I said, very clean, scoreless first period. However, there was a little bit of chippiness that went on, a couple of disagreements. He got a little too close there. Always protect your goalie. That was Tommy Aiken getting some protection from his buddies. Here we're going to go see some fantastic passing, though, as we move to the second period from Ryan Stratton, leading to a nice upper deck goal courtesy of Shane Baker, and they would roll. Now we're going to move on to the end of period, time running out, but that doesn't matter to Shane Baker as he would bury this one to extend the lead to 3 going into the third. Baker had a huge game, and in the third, it just got worse for the Bengals. 4 minutes in, and it would be Tyler Fogu this time. There we go. Going into the third period now. There we go. That's Tyler Fogu. He had his 4th goal of the game. Huge game there, going right past Ben Dardis. However, the Bengals would not back down, as with time winding down, it would be Chris Blango getting one back for his team, a moral victory to finish it off, but they would fall 4-1. Now we are going to shift to SUNY Canton, taking on the SUNY Morrisville Mustangs. And folks, I just have to tell you, this one was all about the Mustangs, as we're going to take a quick look here. Got some highlights for you. Just 1 minute in, set the tone as a great pass from Spencer Saisenberry would set up a beauty of a shot from Nico Schooner that would put the Roos up early. After that, the rest of the first period was quiet, but in the second period it would be Spencer Saisenberry again who would break the silence as he takes a pass from Evan Pringle and finds the back of the net. Go up 2-0. After that, the gates were open 3 minutes later. This time it's Braden Freifogel. He's going to be the extra on the skates as he beats goalkeeper Chad Lowe for the 3rd time. Third period, it would stay Canton as just 30 seconds in. It would be Freifogel for the 2nd time, and Canton was simply unstoppable at this point. Just 50 seconds this time, and it was Logan Kelly getting in on the fun as he puts this one past Morrisville once again, and Morrisville truly did not have an answer. However, they did have one bright moment as Zach Lickles would find forward Mason Lowell for the lone goal of the gang for the Stangs. However, the Canton wouldn't let the Stangs go home happy as Freifogel would once again find the back of the net for his hat trick, and an icy ending to this one. Roos win it 6-1. So a couple of very interesting games to start this one. We're going to shake it. It's been shaken up in the standings. We're going to take a look once we analyze some of the other games in the next intermission report. I'm going to talk about Potsdam and Cortland as the big one. Stick around for that. But now we're going to send it back to the perch box. Mike, Kenny, take it away.
Thanks, Lucas. Excellent job back in the studio. And welcome back to the Sealy Press Box. I'm Kenny Gerard. I'm joined by our sports director, Mr. Michael Meckers. And Mike, wow, what a first. You got to take me through what happened.
Yeah, Kenny, I mean, a super exciting period. I don't think it's exactly what we expected. The Lakers came out really slow on their heels. Geneseo, the exact opposite, pressing high, getting into that final third, getting pucks in, and it worked for them. They got one slap shot in, and that was all it took. Who was it that scored? I believe Nick Kovacs found the back of the net on a slap shot right under the glove side of Michael Manzi.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it at the end of the first, but Oswego's coming out with 2 minutes and 58 seconds of a power play, so they're going to start off with a little bit of an advantage here against Geneseo. I think it's extremely important to get it in the back of the net. Mike, how did they make it happen?
Yeah, Kenny, technically only their 2nd power play here, although it kind of feels like a 3rd one coming out of the break. So Oswego with almost 3 minutes to try and find the back of the net, and I think they just need to stay composed. They need to slow this down. They've got 3 minutes to do it. There's no need to rush a shot. Find the right shot, put a good shot on, and try and get it past Tordner.
We'll take it back down to the ice. We're set to get underway between the Lakers and the Ice Knights for the 2nd period. That one goes over to Baker, back into the Oswego end as they start off on the power play again. 2 minutes and 48 seconds after the 5-minute major that got Weberg ejected from the game for Geneseo. That goes back into the Lakers zone. And again, the penalty kill today for Geneseo has been excellent. All season long it's been great, 81.1% PK. But for Oswego, they got a 26% power play conversion percentage. As a team that has not shied away from scoring power play goals. We'll see if they can get another one here and knot things back up at 1. But here comes Geneseo, and they'll dump it away, shorthanded. And they'll get a couple of changes on the ice for the penalty kill unit.
Yeah, and a smart dump there by Jack McDonald. Geneseo does not want to have long defensive shifts here. They need to keep fresh legs on the ice if they want to pick up a 3-minute penalty kill.
Down into the Geneseo zone finally for the Lakers. And Geneseo trying to poke it away. Bannister hunts around the blue line. Down low with it now is McQuaid. McQuaid near the red line, looks for a pass. He'll give it up to Cohen over to Bannister. Bannister looks down the slot, takes a shot. Puck still loose in the rebound. Takes a second chance, goes high in the net and into the glass. And back around the boards and dumped out of the zone by the Ice Knights.
Yeah, and first shot was good, a nice save by Tordner. Second shot looked like it came off the leg of Sean Melso. So again, this defense doing a really nice job of blocking all these shots Oswego's taking, not even letting a lot of them get to the net.
Here's Cohen with it now. This one is blown dead. So we'll get a reset. Minute and 37 seconds left of the Oswego State power play. We're going to look at a replay here brought to you by Wanzone's Calzones. The night is not complete without a Tomcat. Mike, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Kenny, first shot saved, and then off the leg of Melso. Bannister unlucky to not get that second one through. But again, Oswego kind of sloppy here in this final third. They need to clean things up and get more shots on.
Semrad down the near side, tied up with Brigada, and Melso gets a stick on it for Geneseo. It'll go back around the boards over to McQuaid, who keeps it on sides. Pass over to Horacek, looks for a lane. Pass it across ice. That's back up to Gatto. Semrad calls for the pass, he'll get it. Semrad back over to Burke. Burke down low. Horacek spins around, can't get the shot to go. Here's Gatto with it off the rebound, takes a shot again. Buck still loose in front. Horacek can't get out the rebound. It'll be frozen by Torgner.
Yeah, and Jacob Torgner does a really nice job there. Just save after save for him. You saw the kick save to start out that one. As here's another look at it. And then up top, the Lakers with a chance. Horacek right in front of Torgner. Doesn't matter. He's ready. He's locked in. Makes another huge save. Gets the cover.
Face off on the near side of the Geneseo zone. This one will be blown dead. So we'll reset. Bannister will come out. And in goes Miller for Oswego. Face off goes to the Ice Knights, and that'll be dumped around the boards by Kovacs and out of the zone. Penalty kill doing an excellent job. They've pretty much killed off 2 power plays at this point, a whole 4 minutes. Still leaves Oswego with just less than a minute here after the 5-minute major power play against Geneseo. Can't get it across the blue line. Payon tries to poke it away, and Cohen gets possession near the Oswego zone. Back over to Bannister. Oswego's got to get things going if they want a chance here of a power play goal. After a 5-minute major, down goes Bannister, and there's going to be a tripping call against Geneseo.
Well, Kenny, I was about to say it's ice and it's slippery, but a tripping call will give the Lakers a 2-man-up power play here for the next 37 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 for an additional 1 minute and 23 seconds after that. So the power play continues for Oswego, and now is where they really need to capitalize. These 37 seconds where they have 2 more players than the Knights out on the ice, they need to find the back of the net here.
Well, the green and gold get a golden opportunity, now up 2 men. It'll be 5-on-3 for the next 37 seconds, and then back to another Oswego power play for another minute and 20-some-odd seconds. 5-on-3, Lakers need to get a goal here if they want a chance in this one. Still at 1-0. 5-on-3, here's a shot from Baker. Puck still loose in front. Off the rebound, Torgner on his skates, and he gets it. Oh, what a save by Torgner, and he snatches it right out of the air.
What a save by Torgner indeed. Having a phenomenal start to this game today, of course, now in the second period. 27 seconds remaining in this 5-on-3, and the Lakers applying the pressure, but haven't had any luck yet.
Lakers get it off the face-off on the 2-man advantage. It's Baker. Baker looks down the slot, can't get it off. This one's blown dead, and it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be looks like a roughing call. Not sure who it's on. It looks like it should be against the Lakers.
Yeah, Kenny, and it looks like he pulled the stick right out of Nick Kovac's hand. You saw it fly across the middle of the ice. Not sure what the game plan was there from Horacek. May have just been a mistake, but now the Lakers going to be down a man actually for 16 seconds and a little bit, but still up 1 for the next 21.
Well, here's where it gets sticky. They won't have they're still on the power play, still a man up. It's now 4-on-3. In the faceoff, we'll go to the Oswego zone after the penalty from Jesse Horacek. Back down to the zone, Oswego with a 1-man advantage for the next 15 seconds. Then we'll have 4-on-4 for another minute and some odd seconds. And then Geneseo gets a chance at a power play for a few seconds. Very wild start here to the second. Lakers get it out. Couple of seconds left. In front, Baker gets popped up and over the blue line. Geneseo gets a man back on the ice, and we're now at 4-on-4 for the next minute and 18 seconds. Then Geneseo gets a crack at a power play. Geneseo with possession now through the neutral ice. It's Bagnoli. Bagnoli storming down near the faceoff circle, tangled up with Baker. Bagnoli and Baker fighting for the puck. Bagnoli comes away with it. Bagnoli on the far side. Bagnoli looks for the slot. Passes down low. Shot goes off of Manzi and high for Forberg. Walters with it now for Geneseo. Pass in front, nobody there for the pass. Burke comes down for it. That's over to Semrad.
Yeah, and Manzi did a really nice job there, hugging that right post, not giving Geneseo any opportunity to sneak one past him.
Here's Bannister now with it near the red line. Pass in front, nobody's home for it. Ryan will get hit up against the glass. And down to Stimple for Geneseo. just about 27 seconds till Geneseo gets a little north of 10 seconds of a power play against the Lakers. Stimple will dump it into the zone, and Geneseo will go for a change. Cooper chased down low. Puck still in the corner and finally comes out for the Ice Knights. That's up to Stimple. He'll take a shot that goes high on Michael Manzi. Kept onside by the Ice Knights. Stimple goes off his waist and into neutral ice. Diamond with it now. Diamond at the face-off circle. Looks for a lane against Semrad. Shot saved by Manzi. And Geneseo's back to full strength. 11 seconds of power play now for the Ice Knights. Oswego on the penalty kill. Here's Stimple. Stimple down around the boards. Diamond tangled up with Cooper. And now Oswego returns to full strength, so they'll kill off the penalty. And it's all for nothing, the 5-minute major and a pair of regular 2-minute penalties. All for naught. It is still 1-0 Geneseo.
Yeah, Kenny, and unimpressed is the word I would use to describe how that Oswego power play has me feeling up here in the press box, just unable to get anything going.
Both teams going for a full change. It was a long shift for both squads. 5 minutes already gone here in the second. And the Lakers get it back in their own end with Brett Fudger. Fudger pass to Ergo, poked away. Knocked back down into the zone by Gatewood. Gilmore gets it back for the Lakers. Gilmore off the boards, pass Brett Fudger. Here's DeFlorio, he'll pass back to Gatewood. Gatewood gets sandwiched between two Lakers, and Oswego gets it back with Miller near his own bench. Miller up to Fudger, and Fudger dumps it around the boards as Miller goes off for a change and Cam Simons comes on. Oswego trying to get it back in the offensive end with Ergo. Ergo loses it to DeFlorio, and they'll pass it back to Zarutny. And Zarutny with it now for Geneseo. That'll go back to the Lakers zone, pass way back down by Payon, as Torgner will come out of crease to give it up to DeFlorio. Chasing down is Simpson. Simpson skating up for it, can't get to it, it was Ryan. And the Ice Knights now with possession. Regatta passes it over to DeFlorio. DeFlorio takes it down the near side. DeFlorio will pass it around the boards. Bala gets there. Bala back on the ice after getting hit hard after the 5-minute major. Glad to see he's back on the ice for Oswego. Baker pass over to Simons. That's up to Vassilo. Vassilo and Wolters. Wolters into the corner. Tangled up with Vassilo as Geneseo tries to get possession back in their own end with Regatta. That's passed up to Torgner. Torgner passes it up. And that goes behind Wolters near the blue line. In front with a chance to shoot. That goes high. Wide open lane for Torgner, and he doesn't convert on the shot. Simons gets it off the rebound and back to the Geneseo zone. Torgner calls for the icing, won't get it as McQuaid gets down there quickly. Wolters tries to get it back. Cross-ice pass off the boards. And Geneseo now with possession. Back down to the Lakers zone. Gatto skates in for it with Semrad. Semrad trying to get a stick on it. Bagnoli in the corner for Geneseo. McDonald comes in, and back around the boards it goes. Lakers get possession with Cooper. Cooper pass up all the way down to the Geneseo zone as Torgner elects to not call for the icing and will just pass it back to his man, Melso. Voracek goes for a hit, whiffs on it. Burke tries to steal it away. Payon gets a stick on it at the red line. Burke passes it back into the Geneseo zone. Doherty with it now. Almost goes straight into a referee is Horacek and Doherty. And Oswego tries to get possession back, stolen away by Melso, as Melso has it now for Geneseo. Melso gets it out of the zone past Gilmore and all the way down to Michael Manzi. Calls for the icing, won't get it. There's another hit, and that's going to be a boarding call going against the Lakers for sure, as Payon thinks he fell into the boards, but it looks like Bagnoli got boarded. And Nico Payon will head to the penalty box and give Geneseo a power play.
Yeah, Kenny, and Payon not happy with this call at all. You can see him pleading with the official here, but looks pretty clear from up where I am. Let's take another look at the Juan Zones, Cal Zones replay. See right here, nice save from Michael Manzi, and here's that boarding call we just saw on the ice. Coming down, really a breakaway and right past the goal. Looks pretty clear, defenseless offensive player there and shoved right into the board. So now a 2-minute power play for the Knights, who are already ahead 1-0.
Trying to make it a 2-0 gap against the Lakers are the Ice Knights. 2-minute of power play for Geneseo starts right now. Oswego goes on a penalty kill. We talked about how excellent that penalty kill has been all season long. A 90.2% PK, only allowing 6 goals on 61 shots and a tripping going against Miller, and a horrible mistake as Domeski gets tripped. Miller commits the penalty, and it's now going to be 5-on-3. And man, are they going to really test this penalty kill unit of the Lakers, now going down 2-0 men against Geneseo.
Yeah, Kenny, Nicholas Miller looked to just be trying to put in a check, but got through the stick too soon and swept the leg of Melso, and that's all it takes. We'll take another look at this tripping call here. Really just sloppy defensive play from the Lakers. Trying to reach across a player is never a good idea there.
5-on-3 advantage, 2-minute advantage for the Geneseo Ice Knights. Going to make it 2-0 against the Lakers. Melso with it now in the offensive end for the Ice Knights. Forberg will pass it up. Melso at the faceoff circle. Pass goes a little wide to Regatta. Regatta will pass up to Melso. Melso looks down the slot, passes it back over. Here's a shot saved by Michael Manzi. And Demeski had a huge shot and a nice save.
Yeah, pretty textbook save there for Manzi, right into the chest pad once again, as we saw earlier. But this Lakers team we saw in a 5-on-3 against the Hobart Statesmen last night, and it didn't go their way. Hobart capitalizing with a goal on it, so see if they can kill this one tonight.
Minute and 30 left of the two-man advantage. Geneseo gets it off the face-off. That's over to Melso. Here's a slap shot. Puck still loose in front and knocked out of the zone by the Lakers. And they quickly storm off, and they will get a quick change. Gilmore, Semrad, and Ergo on now for Oswego. Here's Forberg. He'll pass over to Melso. Melso back over to Forberg. Forberg looks for a lane to pass over to Melso. Melso at the faceoff circle. He's guarded by Semrad. That's over to Demeski. Here's a shot in front. Gilmore gets it after the pass, and into the corner it goes. Less than a minute left of 5-on-3, and still 10 seconds of a one-man advantage for Geneseo if they cannot convert on the two-man advantage. In front, poked away, and rebound by Melso. Panchizin with it now for Geneseo. Panchizin pass down low. Here's a shot, goes off of the bar and into the netting. And that'll still leave 31 seconds on the clock for 5-on-3 for Geneseo, but excellent penalty kill so far from Oswego, down 2-man.
Yeah, Kenny, and a lucky and much-needed break here for the Lakers, able to get 3 fresh sets of legs in. It's Travis Baker, Aiden Cooper, and Tommy Bannister out there on the defensive end now. Take another look at this shot. And Manzi, you see hugging the post. That's all he needs to do when the puck's over here. Off the pipe, and well done by Manzi.
Lakers get it out of the zone, and all the way down it goes. That still leaves about 22 seconds of 5-on-3 for Geneseo. Bannister on the ice, Baker and Cooper. And here come the Ice Knights now. DeFlorio with it now. DeFlorio tangled up with Bannister, and it goes across the blue line again. Zarudny gets it back for Geneseo. Just a couple of seconds left on the clock until Oswego gets a man back on the ice, and they will. Now we're at 5-on-4 for 9 more seconds. Oswego trying to kill out the 5-on-3. They did. Looking to kill out the whole power play with just a couple seconds left. DeFlorio pass over near the faceoff circle. And the Lakers kill off both penalties, and that excellent penalty kill continues to click for Oswego, and we're back to 5-on-5. Simpson in the corner. That goes over to McDonald. McDonald looks for a lane but can't get it. Semrad tangles him up. Semrad poking at the puck. Semrad can't get a poke in front. They score! And the captain buries it. It's Deisman. And after all of that, they still get one in the back of the net. 2-0 Ice Knights.
Yeah, Kenny, and that's a tough goal to let up. I mean, looked like it barely crossed the line, but from where I'm looking, it did cross the line. Really nicely taken. Here's another angle of it. See, they come around and a wraparound into that corner. Manzi arguing that he got to it in time, but didn't look like it. Here's another angle of it.
And that
just
was
swept into the back.
Goal brought to you by Wanzone's Calzones after the replay. And it's 2-0 Geneseo after the wraparound goal from Deisman. And it's a 2-0 advantage for Geneseo. Oswego needs a goal here now, over halfway done in the second. Geneseo pokes it away in front, and they'll get it back. That goes wide at Diamond into the zone, and Manzi gets it after the icing. So, Mike, after all of that, 2 penalties against the Lakers. They go down 5-on-3, don't allow a goal in the penalty kill, which has been great all year long at that 90.2% PK coming into the game. Still with 10 seconds of a power play. Whew, man, take me through that. That was crazy.
I mean, Kenny, we look at it here again on the Wanzone's Calzones replay. Just a perfectly executed wraparound, and you see it does cross that goal line. Really well done by Deisman. And Oswego, I was going to say something about some momentum coming off of that double penalty kill, but didn't do it.
Lakers have it now in neutral ice. They'll dump it back into the Geneseo zone. Oswego with it now on the offensive end. Pass in front, nobody there. Simons whiffs on the shot. Baker second chance. Puck still loose in front. And it goes wide of the net. Baker gets it back off the rebound, sends it in front again. And they whiff on the shot. Vassilo gets it. Very chaotic in front of the crease, but nothing gets by Torkner. Bala with it now near the blue line. He'll pass it off the boards. Nobody there for the pass. Bala, backhands pass. Simons shot saved. Rebound in front. Ryan, another save for Torkner. Puck still loose. Shot from Vassilo. It won't go. And it goes across the blue line, not fully. They'll keep it outside, and Geneseo gets it out of the zone. Wow, what a play from Geneseo and Torkner to not allow a goal from the Lakers. It almost looks certain.
I mean, Jacob Torkner, talk about putting the team on your back, just save after save. So many bodies in front of that, and Oswego cannot break through on that opportunity.
Lakers having a great few chances there. None of them get by Torkner. And an excellent stop from Torkner and this Geneseo defense that has been excellent all night long. Lakers get possession through the legs of Bannister. Bannister tries to knock it into the zone. It's stolen away by Torkner and Fulberg. Here comes Cohen, though. Cohen at the faceoff circle. Wraps around, shoots. Puck still loose in front. Nobody there for the rebound, and Geneseo takes it right back. Here come the Ice Knights down the rush into the offensive end. There's the shot, goes wide from Demeski. And Oswego gets it back off to the rebound from Bannister. He passes it off of a referee, and Gilmore gets back the bouncing puck. And Oswego got a little bit of momentum there, but was unable to capitalize. We'll see if they can do anything with it, but Geneseo, an excellent stop. Horacek, pass goes wide to Cohen. Burke sets it up in front, puck still loose and knocked out of the zone. And it's definitely more than just Torkner. It has been this Geneseo defense all game long.
Well, Kenny, there's plenty of action going on campus. More hockey, more wrestling, more basketball. Stay up to date with the Oswego State Lakers and watch all of the games right here on WTOP 10. Or go to our YouTube channel and watch our web streams.
Look at the replay of it there. Torkner just all over the crease, standing on his head for this Geneseo team.
Yeah, really well done there by Torkner, just dominating his own crease.
Horacek with it in the corner. In front, it's still loose, and now finally frozen with some extracurriculars after the play, and some pushing and shoving has been nothing new in this one, Mike.
No, Kenny, that's Sean Melso. Looked like he initiated that contact in front of net. Brendan Cohen just returning fire on that one. And a confusing play. Lakers down 2-0. They need to keep cool here. They cannot afford to be getting into scuffles after the play here. We'll take another look. You see the second a goalie gets touched by the opposing player, this is gonna happen.
Near side face-off circle, it's Gatto in for Oswego. Face-off does go to the Ice Knights. They'll pass it off to Glasson, and it'll be chased back down to Manzi, who does not freeze it, and pass over to Cooper. Regatta chasing closely behind. Pass up. The Bannister goes wide of him and into the Geneseo zone. And Zrudny gets it back for Geneseo, back into neutral ice. Bala will get it near the blue line of his own end. McQuaid pass off the boards to Horacek. Gets poked away by the Ice Knights. Semrad trying to get it back into the corner. And Geneseo does get it back with Zrudny. He'll pass it up to Bagnoli. Bagnoli down the far side, looks for a lane to shoot. Can't find it with Semrad guarding him. And Semrad will take him all the way into the corner. Geneseo gets it back with Diamond and stolen away by Gatto. And Gatto over to Horacek. Horacek pass over to Burke. Burke off the boards to Horacek. Horacek storming down, takes a shot and straight into the chest of Torkner.
Yeah, Kenny, and Torkner continues to dominate between the pipes here. I mean, just shutting down everything coming his way from this Oswego offense. They're putting the pressure on a lot more so than they did in the first period, but it's just not enough. Torkner again with another big save right into the chest there, and an easy cover for him.
Face-off coming in the Geneseo zone. Burke skates out of the zone, and looks like Horacek will come in for him. Geneseo gets it off the face-off and gets it out of the zone. McDonald with it now. Can't get it across the blue line. Now they do. Here's a lane that's poked away by the Lakers and knocked out of the zone. That'll force Geneseo for a reset. They'll pass it back into the zone. Simons gets a stick on it. Walters has it now for Geneseo. Here's Kovacs. Back down to the zone. It's Bala who gets hit up against the boards by McDonald. Geneseo with possession in the offensive end. Vassilo up to Simons. Simons down the near side. Simons takes a shot that's saved in front by Torgner. Vassilo gets it off the rebound. Vassilo pass back. Ryan with it now. Ryan looks for a pass. Dimple makes a hit up against the boards for Geneseo. Trying to steal it away again. Ryan gets a stick on it. We're all tangled up near the boards again. Vassilo passes it over to Payon. Payon takes a shot. That one goes off the chest of Torgner. Board battle for the puck comes out to Vassilo. Vassilo looks for a pass. He can't get anything going with Melso guarding him, and it's taken away by Demeski. Here come the Ice Knights who dump it into the zone. Long shift for Geneseo. They'll go for a change. And this one will be blown dead. Watch out, everyone. There's been an entertainment breach. Austin Claus and Chris DeLuca hang out with a new guest every episode. No single episode is the same from the last. Watch only on WTOP 10.
Yeah, Kenny, a great program here on WTOP, but we got to talk about Michael Manzi choosing to cover that puck here. Not sure how much I love that for this Oswego team, who struggled a bit defensively so far.
Near side face-off circle in the Oswego zone. Gatewood will go out. Bannister in for Oswego, and Regatta is in for Geneseo. Face-off will go to the Lakers. Cooper gets a stick on it, and with it in their own end, they'll pass it off the boards to Matt McQuaid. McQuaid into the zone, and back down to Oswego's end. Manzi will decide to freeze it and stop play. Mike, what does Oswego have to do to get things going? It's been stale for quite a while.
I mean, Kenny, it really is hard to say. I felt like they came out with more energy and at a higher pace in this second period, but it's just been a brick wall in net in Jacob Torgner, and until they can break through there, I think they just got to keep putting more shots on and hope that they can get one past him.
Far side face-off circle. Gatewood and Bannister goes for the Lakers after Bannister wins the face-off. That's kept on sides. Gatewood takes a shot saved by Manzi. Bannister pokes it away. Semrad gets it in the corner for Oswego. Still tangled up with Gatewood. Here's Regatta now in front. Poked away by Gatto. Bannister goes for it in the corner. Bannister passed back, poked away and stolen away by Geneseo, and poked away again by Bannister. Here come the Lakers now through neutral ice. Bannister will pass it up. Here comes McQuaid. Shot in front. Puck still loose. Can't get off the rebounds. McQuaid goes down. Gilmore over to Baker. That goes wide again off the boards. McQuaid takes a shot, goes wide in the net again. And a couple of good shots for the Lakers, unable to capitalize yet. As they go for a change with Fudger coming on to the ice. Oswego sole possession up to Baker near the blue line, over to Bala. Bala takes a shot, too much traffic in front. Looking for it off the rebound is Fudger. Fudger gets a stick on it. He'll take it behind the red line. Fudger looks for the wraparound backhand shot. He gets it, and it's saved by Torgner. And some extracurriculars coming as DeFolio took some offense to Ergo there near the crease of the netminder.
Yeah, and tried to take a page from Carter Deisman's book, saw his wraparound goal earlier, said, hey, let me try that. But Lakers unable to capitalize on this one. Let's take another look at this pressure that Oswego is applying. Across the crease, McQuaid lays out, tries to get a second touch on it, but puck's just rolling a little too fast. So Lakers still down 2-0, still looking for their first goal. And with this pressure, you'd think it'd come soon, but with Jacob Torgner in that, you never know what's going to happen.
Brett Fudger in the face-off circle for Oswego. And the Lakers get it off the face-off with Ergo. Ergo goes down as he's hit by Walters. And Fudger gets it back for Oswego. Fudger with it now near the red line. Fudger pass over to Ergo. Ergo gets hit up against the glass again and goes down, and a couple of nice hits from Walters. And it goes back over to Forberg for Geneseo. He'll take it across the red line and under the legs of Bala. Baker goes down for it as well. Panchizin can't keep a stick on it. It's over to Miller for Oswego. Fudger passes back over to Jonathan Bala. Bala off the glass and into neutral ice. Vassilo chasing it down with Doherty. Vassalo got a lane in front, he takes a shot, and it's saved by Torgner. He stands on his head and gets yet another one that the Lakers can't convert.
I mean, what a game Jacob Torgner's having. Vassalo tries to put that one through the 5-hole of Torgner. Figured if nothing else works, let's try it, but unable to. Let's take another look. Oswego trying to get the puck out of their own end. Do so, and then up here, some huge hits. And here's that shot one more time. Coming down, a chance, and right into the chest plate there of Torgner.
Geneseo now with possession in their own end with Stimple. Stimple almost gets it poked away by Ryan, but does keep possession. Passes with Diamond. Vassalo gets tackled down, and definitely a penalty coming. Shot saved by Geneseo, and Stimple's going to be heading to the penalty box. That is probably going to be either a hooking, high stick, or whatever you want to call it, but he grabbed him by the face mask and dropped him back down onto the ice, still waiting for the hand signal from the referee to know exactly what happened. But it will be a power play coming for the Oswego State Lakers.
Yeah, Kenny, I'd be lying if I told you I saw this shot from Oswego. I was a little focused on the extracurriculars. Pulling down by the face mask there. Colin Vassalo not happy and sure to let Jackson Stimple know about it with a shove and maybe a couple punches there away from the play.
Another power play opportunity here for the Lakers. 2 minutes of 5-on-4. One-man advantage against the Geneseo Ice Knights. Needing a goal desperately here in the second, down 2-0. Trying to give themselves an advantage going in to the third period, and that one is immediately knocked out of the zone by the Geneseo penalty kill unit as Baker gets it and sets up the power play for the Lakers. Pass goes wide at Gatto, calling for an icing, and he will get it, and that is a crucial mistake by the Lakers here on the power play.
Yeah, a late icing call there. Got a little scared they were going to let that one go, but for Oswego, this is not how you want to start your power play. Just really sloppy play here, and they've got to find a way to try and break through on this offensive end. I know I've said it so many times, but just nothing is working. Torgner a brick wall in net, and this Geneseo defense making it very difficult to even get shots to the net in the first place.
Shorthanded Geneseo gets the face-off in the Oswego end, but the Lakers do take it back now with Baker. Here comes Baker, 5-on-4 for the next minute and 36 seconds for Oswego. Here's Burke on the near side boards. McQuaid takes it around the far side. Horacek comes down for it. McQuaid gets possession for the Lakers. McQuaid passes it back over. Here's Ryan Burke up to Baker. Baker back to Burke. Burke looks for a lane to pass. It's over to McQuaid. McQuaid near the red line. Pass down low. In front, backhand shot. Puck gets poked away from the zone. McQuaid gets it off the rebound. McQuaid will pass it over to Gatto. Gatto, pass McQuaid, shot! Saved by Torgner as he flies out of the crease to knock it down with his shoulder. Lakers get off of the rebound. Baker sets it up in front, and down goes a Laker, and out of the zone it will go. That'll force a reset for Oswego as Horacek loses his stick and goes straight into the bench. Geneseo with it now, shorthanded and dump it out of the zone. 40 seconds left of this power play.
Yeah, and Torgner leapt at that puck like a lion stalking its prey. I mean, just went flying across the crease, got it out of harm's way, and really well done by him defensively on these power plays.
He'll knock that one way out of the zone himself, and a beautiful play again from Jacob Torgner. He has been everywhere on the ice tonight as Regatta shorthanded in the Oswego zone. Less than a minute left in the period with 15 seconds left of the power play for Oswego. Gonna need to do something quickly here to convert on this power play. It's over to Miller. Miller there down the far side boards. He'll pass it back. Here's Cohen. Cohen over to Bannister. Bannister near the slot, pass it over, shot in front, nobody there for the pass, and that will kill off the power play and the penalty against Geneseo. And a beautiful penalty kill from the Ice Knights. In front, Bannister looks to get a shot off, can't do it. He'll pass over to Vassalo at the red line. Vassalo over to Semrad. Semrad takes a shot, that's blocked. Beautiful block by Bagnoli for Geneseo. Man, it went right off of his face. What a way to use your body.
Yeah, Kenny, I mean, talk about putting your body on the line. That's exactly what Bagnoli did there. Got in front of the shot and shut down the Lakers once again.
Just a couple of seconds left here on the clock. Puck frozen against the boards and way high and down to Manzi. And that will end the second period. And after two, it's 2-0 Ice Knights. And Mike, it was, well, I would guess to say a story of the first period. It was a 1-0 period for both teams. And Well, now, after a bunch of penalties, we had a 5-minute major at the end of the first. We had a 5-on-3 against the Lakers, which they killed off, but still allowed a goal after. What is it with the Lakers today that is crippling their ability to score a goal and just allowing Geneseo to be faster on the ice?
You know, Kenny, I like the way Oswego came out of the locker room at the start of this second period, but it became very evident very early on that they weren't going to be able to keep that pace the entire second period, and that's how they let up that second goal. And frankly, I think they're tired. I think obviously they had a really hard game last night against the Hobart Statesmen. They're not able to skate with this Geneseo team in the way that they should be right now, and someone's got to get some motivation going in the locker room for them if they want to figure things out.
Let's send it down ringside with Jen, who's joined by the Oswego captain, Matt McQuaid. Take it away, Jen.
Thank you, guys. I am down here by the rink with Lakers forward and captain Matt McQuaid. Matt, you've had a very high-pressure game out there so far. How are you staying focused?
Yeah, it's a big one here. I mean, they're a fast team. They came out hard. We weren't really getting to our game, but we're starting to figure it out now. That last half of that second, we started playing harder, getting pucks in, so just got to stick to that, and I think we'll be good here.
Absolutely. So going into the third period being down 2 goals, how are you going to lead your team going forward to stay just on track and keep up that high energy we've been seeing so far?
Yeah, we all know what we need to do. Everybody's saying the right things. Everybody's talking about the right things. We just got to implement it. We need to get more pucks on net here and a little more traffic in front. I think we'll be able to bang in a greasy one there, and I think that'll get us off to the races.
Absolutely. And Matt, one more question before I let you go. What is the key for you going into these last 20 minutes? What are you looking for? What are you going to do to really power through and secure a win for the Lakers?
Yeah, it's just all about energy here. Got to match their speed, then we got to improve it. So if we're getting pucks in, we're getting hard on their D-men down low, they'll start turning pucks over, and that'll lead to a lot of chances for us.
Absolutely. Matt, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Guys, I'm going to send it back to you up in the press box.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Matt. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the press box for the second period. We'll look at some highlights of the period, and then we'll send you over to our people on the perch. We'll see you at the third.
And we're back for the second intermission report here in the perch. Once again, Eddie McAlpine with Michelle Smith and Parker Voris. And quite the period there with penalties, guys. We saw a lot of penalties, a lot of different, unconventional lineups rolled out by both sides, Michelle. We started in 5v3, it went to 4v3 and back to 4v4. It was 5 minutes into the period when we saw even strength for the first time. How do both teams, limit the penalties going into the final frame?
Well, I think a lot of the penalties we saw this period were very, what I like to call silly penalties, holding, tripping, things that aren't going to help the other team get the advantage before they're called. So it doesn't really make much sense to kind of bother. I mean, obviously tripping or holding, you might not plan to do that, but they need to limit that a little bit, kind of be more aware of what they're doing with their bodies when, as to avoid those stoppage plays and keep that momentum.
And Parker, you've had an eye on those penalties as well. What are you seeing out there for both squads?
Yeah, and alone that period, Eddie, 5 penalties combined. 3 from Oswego, 2 from Geneseo, and throughout this entire game, 8 penalties total. Geneseo with 5, Oswego with 3, but Geneseo's had 5 penalties and they haven't let in a goal. They had the 5 on Geneseo was 5 on 3, and then Tolbert stood strong, 5 on 4. I mean, whatever Geneseo has been thrown at today, they've been able to handle it from the Oswego State Lakers. And I'm surprised that Geneseo hasn't let in a goal. That period, the Lakers were the better team on the ice, but the score is still 2-0 in favor of the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michelle, the Lakers, of course, starting that period on the power play following the ejection of the Knights center, Philip Weberg. The first-line center was 3rd on the Knights in points, and now he's out the rest of the game. What a big loss for them, but they were able to bounce back, right?
Definitely. At first, when that ejection first occurred, my first thought was this is going to be detrimental for the Geneseo Knights. Obviously, that wasn't quite right. They did get another goal since the ejection, but I think that going into the third, it might make a bit more of a difference. Oswego is known for coming from behind, 2 goals down at home, going into the third against the Knights, a fairly evenly matched team. They're going to want to come back, and Geneseo might kind of be mourning the loss of that player on the ice there.
So for the Knights, it was Carter Deisman scoring the second goal here tonight, his 11th of the season, and the Lakers penalty led to the goal, but penalties are killing both teams out there. It's just the Knights have been able to capitalize, Parker. How are the Lakers going to have to, strike on Torberg in order to beat these penalties out here?
Honestly, I don't know what the Lakers have to do to get through Tolberg. He has just been a brick wall tonight. Already on the game, I believe, has 22 saves. Here in this one against the Oswego State Lakers, he has just been phenomenal for the Knights today. 22 saves on the day. It has just been a remarkable job. And that second goal, the Lakers were 5-on-3, and they did such a good job killing the penalty on Geneseo. Then it was 5-on-4, and then they got back to full strength. And right when they got back to full strength, they let that goal in. I mean, how does that happen? You did so well, 5-on-3, 5-on-4, and right when you get back to full strength, you let that second goal in.
Yeah, definitely covering a lot of ground there is that Lakers defense, but you know who I think has covered the most ground tonight, Michelle? Jacob Torgner has been all over the place in the crease, coming out of the crease to make some big-time plays. What can you tell me about the netminder for this visiting Geneseo Knights team?
Yeah, I mean, look, Oswego, they're taking their chances. They are shooting, but we saw that scramble up front. Oswego had 3 or 4 different players put a shot on net while they were all scrambled up in that crease, in that blue ice there. It was insane. I thought for sure that they were going to get a goal, those Oswego Lakers, and they did not. And that really does come down to the goaltending, because when you're up that close, all defense can do is stick their sticks right in there and hope that they can manage to push the puck away. So it really comes down to Torgner really just kind of getting his own body in there, using his pads, using his blocker, using his stick. I mean, he looks like a rubber band. He's stretching every which way to block those shots all game, but especially in that scramble up front. I think that if Oswego gets themselves in another situation like that, they can capitalize, knowing now how Torgner operates in that kind of a situation. But it's going to be hard going through this third period to get a goal. It's been constant shots to the chest, shots right up at the net there, at his glove hand. And I think it's going to take a lot to get those goals in, but now that they know what to expect, it might start happening.
Yeah, Torgner definitely the player of the game so far for the Geneseo Knights, but Parker, we mentioned Torgner in the pregame show because you had your slate of picks you wanted to highlight for tonight's game. You want to give us an update on how Torgner's doing and how your picks are looking heading into the final period?
Yeah, I would love to, Eddie. So Parker's picks, like I had before the game, I had under 4.5 total goals. Right now we're sitting at 2. So if the Lakers want to be the comeback kids again, that would take that total to be over 4.5. And Tolbert has just been, in the first period I was like, this isn't looking great. He only has 5 saves. Eddie, in that period alone, 17 saves. He faced shot after shot and just put every single one of them away, blocking with his pads, with a glove, stick. I mean, he was just remarkable. So now he's up to 22 saves in this one. And my last one, Connor Gatto, anytime goal scorer, has not scored a goal yet, but the Lakers, like we talked about, Michelle, they've been the comeback kids so far in the last couple of games this season. The Lakers are going to want to win. I'd like to see a goal from your lead goal scorer, Connor Gatto.
Yeah, Lakers definitely like playing from behind, and they've been successful at it in recent history. But it starts with the backbone of the defense, Michael Manzi. He's got 14 saves tonight, despite allowing 2 goals, Michelle. Manzi's been having himself a night, and he's impressed following the poor performance from Milberg last night. He's trying to slide back into that role we saw him in earlier this season. What are you seeing from Michael Manzi out there?
Well, despite those 2 goals that were let in, he does have a .875 save percentage, which really just speaks for itself. Geneseo is, like Oswego, taking all the shots they can, trying hard to get those 2 goals bumped up, say 3, 4. I think that they can get those goals in, but it really is going to be hard. Their offense is very strong, but Manzi is just a little bit stronger. So it really does come down to catching him by surprise, like with that one-timer earlier in the game. And I think that more surprise shots like that will be needed to get it past him. Like I said, .875 save percentage with 2 goals in is very impressive.
And before we came up here to the perch for our intermission report, our rinkside reporter Jen Sally spoke with Lakers captain Matt McQuaid, and something he has been preaching all season, Parker, is discipline. The Lakers need to be disciplined out there on the ice. There was a moment there where Nico Payon had a big hit on the boards, was tagged with a penalty, and then seconds later, Nicholas Miller was called for tripping, which led to a 5v3 in favor of the Knights. You can't let that happen on your home ice. How are the Lakers going to limit those penalties here as the third period approaches?
Yeah, like Matt McQuaid said, you just have to stay disciplined. He is the captain and the vocal piece for this team. And for the Lakers just to come out here in this third period, there's been so many penalties in this game. You really just have to limit and play clean hockey. And like Michelle was saying, maybe like a surprise one-timer that caught Manzi off guard. Good work for the Oswego State Lakers. You would think that how many shots they've been putting on net, that one of those would go in. I'm watching down on the ice right here in front of the perch, and I'm just like, how did none of those shots go in? I mean, one of these shots will have to go in for the Oswego State Lakers. They've been so good on the offensive end, but it's only a matter of time because this Oswego State Lakers team is so good at scoring, they can't be held to zero for too much longer.
Yeah, this Lakers offense has been great all season long, and they're rarely shut out, so I'd expect the Lakers to score here in this final period, Michelle. But there was a moment in that second period where Brandon Cohen played a beautiful puck across and nobody was home. You know, those are like the perfect, one-timer opportunities coming right across the middle there. What are the Lakers going to do to really capitalize on the offensive end here in the last period?
I feel like our new One Zones, Cal Zones replay, because you know what I'm going to say. It's passing. It all comes down to passing every single time. Almost all of these, plays up front, up by Torgner, have been missed opportunities or dumps or turnovers because they can't get those passes to connect. And I'm sure that's extremely frustrating for the bench. It's extremely frustrating for the players on the ice and for Coach Ed Gosick. But the Geneseo Knights are rolling with it. They're getting that possession off of those turnovers from those misconnects, and they are capitalizing, and Oswego needs to start doing the same.
Absolutely. The Lakers have an uphill battle as we enter the final frame here in the Deborah F. Stanley Arena, but for an out-of-conference game here, we've got more on the conference games going on outside. There's been so much hockey tonight and really this entire weekend, so with more on the SUNYAC current standings, here's our SUNYAC analyst, Lucas McGarry. Lucas, what can you tell me?
Thank you, Eddie. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SUNYAC Breakdown. I am Lucas McGarry. In the last break, we talked about the less close games of the 4 o'clock slate. Now we're moving on to 2 games that finished very, very close. Starting off with the Cortland Red Dragons and the Potsdam Bears up in North Country. Fast forward, it would be the Bears taking advantage of some home court ice here in just 2 seconds remaining in the first period. Jacob Hull would sneak one past Nolan Suggs in the biggest moment of this game to this point. However, the Red Dragons were completely unfazed as in the second period they took off. Starting here, Dino Matella goal all by himself. And then getting it all done a minute later, it would be Barrett Krieger breathing fire for the Red Dragons with a goal of his own, courtesy of a Justin Legault assist. The Red Dragons would finish the period hot, capped off with a Colby Seats goal to make it 3-1 after a 1-0 start. However, in the final minute of the game, Potsdam Bears' Mathieu Perrin would find the back of the net to try and bring his team back, but it was unfortunately too little too late in this one as Cortland would hang on to win 3-2. A very tough game for Cortland. Potsdam unfortunately stays where they are. Now we're going to take the trip to Plattsburgh for what turned out to be an all-time thriller as the Fredonia Blue Devils put up a fight against the Cardinals. We'll start off in the second period, tied up 1-1. Cardinals on the move. Lonan Bolger finds Colin Callanan for the big-time goal to take the lead, and a surge of momentum. 5 minutes later, Plattsburgh would stay hot, and it was Shane Bondi this time who would give the Cardinals a lead going into the third, but not final period. In that third period, Fredonia struck fast just 43 seconds in here. It's Luke Morris, assisted by Josh Serino. He finds the back to the net to bring his squad within one right here with just a whole period to go. And that whole period would be all that they needed. Final minute of play. Owen Cross here. He's looking. He's finding him. He takes a shot here. It's the final shot of the game, and he scores it to send it to overtime. Huge game by Owen Cross and a huge goal there. However, Plattsburgh would play spoiler as the 2 vets, Jake Sacratini and Quinn Tavares, would link up, and it was Tavares who would bury the hatchet, sending Fredonia home on a very sour note, but sending the home crowd fans happy. Fredonia suffers its 4th overtime loss of the season. With that, it'll do until stick around for the postgame where I'll give one final rundown on the SUNYAC rankings after a bunch of very fun games today. I've been Lucas McGarry. We'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back to the Steely Press Box. I'm Kenny Gerard. This is Michael Neckers, and we are all swaying away with our WMYO guys down there. You listen to them at WMYO 88.9, the Laker Radio Network, for their call. But you're joining us here on WTOP 10. Mike, while we're all swaying away, what do we got to do here in the second for the Lakers to take a victory? What does Geneseo got to do to hold on?
Kenny, plain and simple, the Lakers outshot the Knights 17-7 in shots on goal in that second period. All they need to do is keep doing that. Offensively, they looked a lot better in this second period. Defensively, that's a different story, and I'll get to that. But they need to keep getting pucks in and keep putting shots on Torgner. It's not going to be an easy task to get past him, but this Lakers team can do it, and we've seen them do it before.
So, Mike, you told me an interesting fact just a few minutes ago. You want to share it to those at home what you found out?
Yeah, Kenny. Like I said, the Lakers outshot Geneseo 17-7. Jacob Torgner with 22 saves on the night so far. Ooh. So dominant second period performance from Oswego from a statistical side of things, but Geneseo is the only team that scored a goal there.
Absolutely, and for Michael Manzi at an 87.5% save percentage, still doing well, but not as good as Torgner, who still has a clean sheet in this one. Mike, what does he got to do to keep a clean sheet?
I mean, Kenny, I think it's plain and simple. He's got all the momentum in his favor. He's been playing phenomenally. He just needs to keep doing so, and look, he looks pretty ready to me.
He looks absolutely ready to go. Mike, any more thoughts before we get going here in the third?
Like we mentioned in the pregame, Kenny, this is a huge game for those USCHO polls, the national rankings, which are a big factor in deciding this NCAA tournament. Seedings, placements, where games are going to be played. So for Oswego, they cannot lay down and die. They need to put their foot on the gas. They need to get themselves back into this game and try and squeak out a home win. For Geneseo, we talked about all their success on the road this season, and so far tonight, it's been the case, the same thing that they've been doing all season long, winning on the road and struggling a little more at home. Can they continue it? In about 15 seconds, we're going to find out.
Well, for Geneseo, they're 5-4 at home, but 7-1-1 on the road, and have not lost on the road since November 29th. And Oswego, well, they're on their second two-game losing streak this season. 6 wins, 2 losses, 8 wins, 2 losses. One of them is going to snap the streak. Will it be the Ice Knights? Or will it be the Lakers? We'll be sure to find out as the third period is about to get underway.
Yeah, Kenny, and Bannister headed to center ice for the Lakers. Payne Gatewood for the Knights. The third period is about to be underway.
Face-off goes for the Knights, and they'll dump it away into the Lakers zone. As Deisman gets a stick on it, he'll get hit by Gatto. Semrad gets to it for the Lakers. He'll pass it off the boards to McQuaid. Goes a little wide as Melso gets it back over to Stimple. Stimple down around the boards. Gatto gets to it. Cooper with possession for Oswego. That's up to McQuaid. McQuaid near the red line. He'll take it across the blue line. Pass over to Bannister. Bannister's pass goes up into the air. McQuaid takes a whack at it. It won't go. McQuaid tries to take another shot at it. He'll get it back near the face-off circle for Oswego. Looks down the slot. He'll pass it around the boards to Mike Ergo. Ergo can't get to it. Miller races in for it. Looks for it in front. Poked away by the Ice Knights. They'll take it right back with Regatta. Good chance for Oswego, but a nice stoppage there from Geneseo to not allow the Lakers to score. There's another shot that goes off of Michael Manzi and back into neutral ice with Fudger. Fudger near his bench, dumps it back off the boards. Torkner comes out of the crease for it. He'll pass it over towards Fudger and back on the boards again to DeFlorio for Geneseo. DeFlorio back around the boards towards the Laker bench. Payon will dump it to the far side corner, knocked down by DeFlorio as Cohen comes in on the defense for Oswego, as well as Burke. Puck bounces towards Horacek and Panchizin. Panchizin puts a stick on it towards Payon. Regatta gets it. Panchizin with the lane. Shoot, and they do not score as there's another save from Michael Manzi.
Yeah, and that's really well done by Michael Manzi there. Having to come across the crease is always difficult for a goaltender, but he executed this one perfectly. You see him slide right across, hug the puck, get it into his glove, and from there it's just about covering it. Here's another look at it. Manzi on the right side has to do a quick movement across. He's there early, right into the glove. Well done by Michael Manzi.
Lakers get out the face-off, hit late on the boards to DeFlorio, and Oswego gets possession back. DeFlorio skating back to get it as Vassilo has it now for Oswego. Vassilo leads the rush, pass Semrad, shot, saved by Torgner. And all those butterflies paid off as, oh my goodness, what a save for Torgner.
Yeah, Kenny, and I mean, perfect execution offensively there from the Lakers. You could argue Semrad puts that shot higher. He might get it past Torgner, but no goalie should be able to move that fast across the crease. I mean, a crazy reaction time from him there. Had the kick save ready to go, and just beautifully done. He's showing why he's the man for this Geneseo Knights team.
Bannister and Forberg, far side faceoff circle, Geneseo zone, and Forberg and the Ice Knights win the faceoff. Gatto seals it away. Gatto past the Bannister, goes under his stick and back to neutral ice. Had a wide open lane, but was unable to get the shot off, unfortunately, for the Lakers. McQuaid goes under his stick, and Zarudny gets it back for Geneseo. Zarudny, he'll pass it up to Bagnoli, and back into the zone it goes. DeFlorio chasing back for Geneseo. Bannister coming in to play the defense with Ergo. Ergo gets a stick on it, taken back by McDonald. McDonald poked away by McQuaid and quickly taken back by Zarudny. Bagnoli near the bench goes back to DeFlorio. Oswego not allowing him to get through neutral ice. Good defensive play here on the back check from Oswego. Miller will get it back for the Lakers. It's over to Bala. Bala pass up to Ergo, can't keep a stick on it, taken away again by Zarudny. Down the far side, here comes Torgner. Torgner across the blue line, back around the boards as Gilmore gets there and Geneseo goes for a change. And this one will be blown dead. A penalty is coming. It's going to be an interference call. Looks to be going against the Lakers.
Yeah, Kenny, it looks like this one's going to be on the Lakers as skating over to the box. Looks like Nicholas Miller coming over to the penalty box. Like you said, interference. Not a penalty that the Lakers can afford to have right now and could be a costly one with this Geneseo power play offense. Let's take another look at the interference call. See right there, just leans into it off the puck, and you can't do that. You're never going to get away with it.
Replay is brought to you tonight by Wanzone's Calzones. The night is not complete without a Tomcat as we get ready for a Geneseo power play for the next 2 minutes. Already up 2-0, looking to make it 3-0. Oswego will go on the penalty kill once again. Already killed off a 5-on-3 today and a couple more seconds of a power play following. We'll see if they can do it again, down 5-4. Melso with it now. He'll pass it over to Bagnoli. Bagnoli back over to Melso. Melso back over to Bagnoli near the blue line. Here's a shot down low. In front, saved by Manzi and poked out of the zone by Cooper.
Yeah, and a really nice save there by Manzi. On the blocker side, just sticks the leg out, gets it there just in time, but Geneseo with a chance to reset and Lakers with some fresh legs.
Melso with it now. He'll pass it over to Bagnoli. Racing down, here's a chance in front. They shoot, and that one won't go. Dyson with a nice shot, but it won't go as McQuaid gets a chance. Short-handed, here come the Lakers. 1-on-0, he shoots, and it's in! He bears it, and Matt McQuaid cuts the lead down to 1.
And you can hear the roar of the crowd here in the Deb as Matt McQuaid with the knee-sliding celly. The Lakers finally get past the blocker side of Jacob Torgner, and what an important goal. The Lakers short-handed. Here comes Matt McQuaid, and I'll tell you what, he's earned his Wanzone's Calzone tonight with this one. A beautiful second chance goal. Gets it past Torgner on the first shot, and from there, just got to tap it in.
And Matt McQuaid gets it short-handed. We talk about how good this penalty kill unit is. Well, they're so good they can even score some goals. It's 2-1. Ice Knights still lead. They still have 1 minute and 5 seconds on the power play. 5-on-4 advantage for the Ice Knights. But Oswego didn't care on that one. This is now only a 1-goal lead. Less than 4 minutes gone here in the third. Much needed goal for the Lakers as the crowd erupted after that one. Just got by Torgner, and quite barely, as Torgner almost made another beautiful save on that shot. Nevertheless, Geneseo still on the power play. That's over to Zarudny. Zarudny pass over to Florio. Regatta up to Zarudny. Zarudny down the slot, blocked by Baker. Ergo goes for it on the rebound. Trying to get out of the zone, and he will. And the penalty kill unit will get it out of the zone. Crowd reacts to Matt McQuaid being announced as the goal scorer here in the arena. DeFlorio will pass it over to Zarudny. Zarudny down the near side. Just about 20 seconds left of the power play. Here's McDonald with a lane. McDonald gets it poked away by Gilmore, and the Lakers prevent another goal, and it's up to Bannister. Here come the Lakers shorthanded again with Tommy Bannister. Bannister near the red line. He is swarmed by DeFlorio, and they'll take it right back with Kovacs. That's up to Forberg, and the Lakers return to full strength, kill off the penalty, and get a goal on it. As Forberg lost an edge going for the puck, and Oswego gets it back into neutral ice with Cam Simons and over to Gatto. Gatto can't get it across the line as Kovacs gets it right back for Geneseo and over to Wolters. Wolters cross-ice pass goes off the stick of Gilmore as Geneseo goes for a change, and yet another beautiful penalty kill for the Lakers that even came with a goal shorthanded, Mike. Back around the boards, Manzi out of the crease, and he'll pass it over to Payon, who dumps it around the boards up towards Fudger and past Kovacs. Kovacs will chase it back to the Geneseo zone, and it'll be blown dead on the icing. And Mike, whew, man, what a goal and what a penalty kill from the Lakers, but still down one with more work to do.
Yeah, Kenny, we've certainly got ourselves a bit more of a game here than we might have expected, just based off that play from Torgner in the first and second. But Matt McQuaid breaks the ice, and now Oswego with a bit of momentum. Seen them pressuring a lot more, leading in the shots category, and we'll see if they can get another one back.
Geneseo gets it off the face-off. Wolters passes it around the boards. Diamond and Gilmore tangled up for it. Fudger comes in for the board battle. Not much time today with the puck spent frozen up against the boards at one of the rare times, and Fudger gets it, and he'll pass it over. Payon will pass up to McQuaid, the goal scorer tonight for the Lakers. McQuaid back around the boards as Wolters comes storming in for it for Geneseo and passes back to Kovacs, who gets hit by Fudger. And another hit alongside the boards as that's knocked down by Cooper, who gets hit from behind by Diamond. Trying to get possession is the Geneseo Ice Knights, and this one will be blown dead as it looks like it did go into the box. And oh, we got some pushing and shoving near the glass. And Miller and Stakowiak did take some offense to that. Well, movie lovers rejoice. Blake and Owen are casual movie fans who talk about everyone's favorite film franchises on Be Kind and Rewind. What will they rank your box office favorite at? Find out only on WTOP 10. Face-off near the blue line goes to the Lakers. Melso pokes it away. And Geneseo does get possession back. Over to Stimple, back over to Melso. Melso will take it all 50 feet himself out of the neutral zone into the Oswego territory. Cooper skates around for it. In front, and it's taken away by Ergo. Ergo pass off the boards, knocked back. Near the blue line, Geneseo trying to get it back to the offensive end. They won't, as Semrad has it now for the Lakers. Semrad storming down the near side. He'll take it near the face-off circle. Can't get it away in the slot, and it's poked away by the Ice Knights and back into Lakers zone.
Yeah, and this Lakers team is coming out with a lot of heat here, Kenny. See what they can do as that shot just goes wide. Send it back to you.
Thanks, Mike. Semrad takes a shot that does go high, and Melso gets it off the rebound down to the far side boards. Baker can't keep a stick on it, and here comes Bagnoli now for Geneseo. Bagnoli near the face-off circle, and he is absolutely swallowed up by Bala, who doesn't allow him to get a shot off, and the Lakers get it back with Cohen. Brandon Cohen down the near side. Cohen pass goes off the stick of Horacek, but back into the possession of the Ice Knights with DeFlorio, and back over to Zarudny. Zarudny near the wheel. He'll take it to the blue line and dump it to the far side corner off the boards. Baker goes for the bouncing puck, gets hit by Demeski, and Burke gets it back now for Oswego. Lakers still down 2-1 in this one. A very good matchup between the number 6 and number 14 teams in the USHO poll in the country. Some of the best here in D3 hockey in a very age-old rivalry. Zarudny with it now. He'll pass it off the boards and go off the ice for a change. Gilmore passes back around the boards to Bannister. Bannister has it behind the red line. Looks to get the offense going for Oswego and go on the forecheck. Vassilo pass up to McQuaid. McQuaid near center ice, passes wide to Bannister, back around the boards. Bannister chases. Kovacs comes in for it for Geneseo. Bannister gets possession, looks for a lane, he shoots, saved by Torgner. Gatto gets it off the rebound. Gatto on the far side. McQuaid shoots, saved again by Torgner. Here's Payon. Takes a shot that goes off the ankle of Regatta, and you can see he felt that one. Two men go down looking for the penalty of the Lakers, and they won't get it as Gatto gets tripped and goes down. Still down on the ice, and they are very unhappy about the no call.
Yeah, and looked like there were some extracurriculars on Gatto after he went down. Not what the Lakers want to see for the alternate captain. He slowly gets off of the ice here. Let's take another look at this hit. Gatto skating up the side. My apologies, here it is now. And just swept the leg from behind. That should be a clear penalty in my eyes, Kenny, and a really bad missed call here from the officials.
Clear call in pretty much anybody's eyes, but nevertheless, no penalty called. The refs will let him play on, and we'll stay at 5-on-5 as the Lakers are not happy with the call, and understandably so. But down 2-1 against this team like Geneseo, you can't rely on calls to win a game.
Absolutely not, Kenny. I mean, first 40 minutes for the Lakers were very rough, and now they got to claw their way back and can't rely on every referee getting everything perfect the entire time.
Here's Fudger with it now down the near side boards. He'll pass. Shot from Miller goes wide. Near the crease was Ergo looking for it. Now Oswego with a bunch of nice shots, but unfortunately for them, Torgner's in net and doesn't allow nothing by him. Here comes Stimple now for Geneseo. Stimple's pass goes high, and this one will be blown dead as it goes out of play.
Yeah, Kenny, a souvenir for the fans there, but Jacob Torgner, despite letting in that goal early here in the third period, is having an absolutely world-class game between the pipes. Let's take another look at this save from him here. I mean, just again and again, he's there. He is ready for anything the Lakers throw his way. There's one with a screen in front of him. And then again here.
Geneseo within their own end, but Simons pokes it away. Cam Simons with it now near the faceoff circle. He'll pass up over to Baker. Baker gets it stolen away. Geneseo gets possession back. Baker pokes it away, and the Lakers regain control with Bala. Bala pass goes wide to Vassilo. Vassilo gets held up. Torgner way out of the crease for it. And Panchizin couldn't keep a stick on it either. Now he's got it in the corner. That's up to Bala. Back around the boards it goes. Baker skating in for it. Bagnoli was also going down for it, and here comes Bannister for it. Back to Bala. Bala pokes by Panchizin and up against the boards. Puck comes out. Vassilo's got a stick on it. Over to Bannister. Bannister dumps it back around the boards, trying to get it over to Baker. Ryan comes down for it as well. Here comes Bannister. Bannister looks for a pass. He's swarmed by Gatewood. Can't get it going, and they'll all shove at it until someone gets it. And Geneseo tries to get possession near the blue line. Puck frozen and knocked back into the zone, and it looks like it will be gone forward and back, and one in the zone will be an offsides.
Yeah, Kenny, and Geneseo's doing a really good job right now of taking it slow and trying to chew out as much of this clock as they can, freezing the puck up against the boards, bringing it back to reset behind the blue line, making Oswego skate for it and work for it if they want to try and get this second goal, and they're doing a phenomenal job of it.
Face off near the blue line of the Geneseo zone, and it goes to the Ice Knights as the Florio chases it, tangled up with Gilmore. And Gatto gets it, looks for a lane, he's got a chance. Near the slot, pass back, shot goes high. Poked up into the air as Peon goes sliding right into Torgner after the shot.
Yeah, and that puck flew all the way into the back row of the stands up there. Gatto really smartly plays that puck behind him, finds the pass and the shot, just unable to get through the defense. Too many men in front of the net, and that'll shut you down just about every time. But here's that pass, a shot off the defender, goes way high, and then right into Jacob Torgner. Looks like he's okay, though.
Far side face-off circle, face-off goes to the Ice Knights with DeFlorio, who'll pass it off the boards. And the Ice Knights can't keep possession. Back over to Gilmore for Oswego. McQuaid over to Gatto. Gatto storms down the far side. Gatto looks for a pass poked away by Zarudny. And Peon can't keep a handle on it either as Demeski chases down over to Gilmore. Gilmore gets possession back for the Lakers. Gilmore down the near side. Looks for a lane to pass. He'll take it himself across the blue line. He'll take a shot. That's deflected. And between the netting and the glass, off the judge's box and into the crowd. That was a weird one, Mike.
Yeah, weird things have been happening in the Deb all year long, it seems, Kenny.
You're telling me.
There's another one to add to the list. We got broken glass. We got pucks hitting the scoreboard left and right, and now through the netting and into the stands for a lucky fan. Let's take another look at the attack here from the Lakers, though. This one skips off the ice, off the stick, and right through the netting.
Lakers with it now on the offensive end. It's Semrad. Semrad, pass down over to Ergo. Fudger comes in for it, and it's stolen away by McDonald. McDonald down the near side, guarded by Semrad on the back check. Looks for a shot, goes off the netting, won't go. He shot it behind the net. And down go an Ice Knight and a Laker as Fudger comes away with the puck for Oswego. He'll pass it up high, knocked down by Geneseo, and Miller gets possession but passes back over to Wolters for Geneseo. Here comes Wolters now all the way through neutral ice, up to DeFlorio. Pass in front, looks for a lane, he shoots, he scores! And Forberg says, can you hear me now, as the Geneseo Ice Knights go up 3-1.
Yeah, and Kenny, this play all started right at center ice. Saw Mikey Ergo start to come off for a line change. Pulled him out of position, and then coming back the other way, he's behind the play, unable to get there in time. Leaves a 3-on-2 in front of net with defenders trailing. And sometimes a rush is all you need to get it past the glove of Manzi. Here's another look at the shot. I mean, just can't get across in time and send it back to the side he was coming from. Nothing Manzi can do about that one.
Goal replay brought to you by Wanzone's Calzones as Geneseo takes a 3-1 lead over the Lakers. Oswego trying to get possession back in the offensive end. Stimple pokes it off the boards, and Melso has it now for Geneseo. And it's been a familiar deficit for Oswego all day, as here comes Diamond now with a rush. Diamond's pass is blocked over by Baker as he puts his body on the line to break that one up. Vassilo now with the puck, he'll take it across the wheel. Vassilo looks for a lane, can't find it, stolen away. And here comes Geneseo now, 2-on-1. And it's over to Diamond. Diamond pass, shot, saved by Michael Manzi. Back around the boards, Bala goes down for it. Bala and Diamond tangled up for it. Simons has it now behind the red line. Simons gets a stick on it, and it's over to Baker. Simons still on one knee. We'll pass it over to Bala. Off the boards to McQuaid. McQuaid passes up to Vassilo. He gets thumped by Stimple. And Geneseo gets possession back in their own end. Demeski with it now down the far side. Demeski and McQuaid for the puck, and it's over to Gatto. Geneseo got a couple of changes after that last play. Gatto will pass it off the boards, but knocked down by DeFlorio. He'll get hit by Bannister. Baker looks for the puck below him. And here comes Geneseo now with a chance. They got a lane. Oswego quickly recovers. Here's a shot chance for McDonald. Demeski looks for a lane, can't find it, poked away and stolen back by Bannister. And now here's a chance for Oswego. Bannister over to Baker. Baker in front takes a shot. That one's saved by Torgner and off his padding on his leg. And here comes Zarudny now for Geneseo. Zarudny will dump it into the zone as Geneseo goes for a full change.
Yeah, Kenny, you've been talking for a while, could use a breather, and this Oswego team is applying the pressure now, but that third goal only makes their life harder here, as now they need to come back from a 2-goal deficit once again.
Gilmore had a chance there in front, couldn't find anybody to pass the puck to. Back down to Horacek. Horacek up to Gilmore. Gilmore can't keep a handle on it. Bagnoli's got an open lane in front of Manzi. He's way out of crease, and he gets it out of there and doesn't even get Bagnoli a chance to get a shot off on him. And back to the Geneseo zone it goes. Walters back around the boards and up to Torgner. Torgner can't get a handle on it. Cohen steals it away in the offensive end. Whiffs on the pass to Fudger. Poked away again. And Stakowiak gets it out of there and back to the Oswego end. Peon gets lit up by Bagnoli. What a huge hit up alongside the boards. There's been plenty of those that go around for everybody today, but the Lakers get it back. Here comes the Lakers with Fudger. That's over to Cohen. He's got a lane, he shoots, it's high and into the netting. And a couple of good chances and a few more big hits, Mike.
Yeah, Kenny, and let's start with this shot. I mean, that's just good defensive play there. Sterling Walters gets his stick in front of the shot, does enough to tip it up and over and into the netting. And we got to talk about this physicality. I mean, a huge hit right here. Nico Peon takes the brute of it right into the boards there. Quick up to his feet once again, but the Lakers are getting manhandled out here.
Face-off circle near side of the Geneseo zone, and Stimple gets it off the face-off for Geneseo. Try to knock it out of the zone, but the Lakers take it back with Vassilo. This one will be blown dead. We'll have yet another stoppage of play.
Yeah, Kenny, another stoppage. And all the credit to Michael Manzi. I think he's having a great game on the defensive end for the Lakers. A lot of these goals that he's let in, really tough ones, kind of defensive breakdowns where he's left out to dry. So I applaud the man for staying in that, staying confident, and he's had a lot of really nice saves here as well. But Jacob Torgner just outshining him in every asset of the game. I mean, a dominant performance from him. As here's another look at that hit. I mean, just a huge collision there.
Face-off coming in the Geneseo zone. Have to check on the netting as it looks like it might have come off the post. Well, while they work on the netting, there's so much more to see from your student-run network, WTOP10. Check out highlights, articles, original productions, news, and much more on our website. Go to WTOP10.com.
Absolutely love all their programs, Kenny. WTOP 10 is one of the best around. And referees still taking a look at this net. Jacob Tordner probably shouldn't care too much because he's been a brick wall tonight. So Oswego really hasn't had too many chances where they've actually put the puck behind him.
Well, Mike, with 5:48 left on the clock, Lakers still down 2 goals. It's been a deficit for most of the game. What do they got to do to get something in the net here?
I mean, Kenny, plain and simple, the first thing they need to do is they need to stay composed defensively. Offensively, this third period has been great for them. They're getting the puck on net. They're getting pucks in deep. They're putting on shots. Defensively, they cannot allow another goal, and they need to keep it in this end.
Simons takes a whack at it, doesn't get to it. And down goes Semrad, loses an edge going for the puck as Stimple has a stick on it in the Geneseo zone. Lakers do have possession, though. Behind over to Semrad. Melso gets to it, and Semrad and Melso tied up for the puck. And it's up to Vassilo. Vassilo keeps it on side. Looks for a lane at the faceoff circle. Takes a shot. Puck still loose in front. And poked away by Forberg. And he'll take it into neutral ice himself and get it out of the Geneseo zone and out of harm's way for the Ice Knights. Stimple with it now near his own bench. He'll dump it away. Manzi goes back into the crease, seeing a couple of Ice Knights come down as Bannister gets possession of the puck. And they'll all go off for a change. Long shift for the Ice Knights and get a full change. That's up to Vassilo. Vassilo off the boards to Bannister. Bannister back to McQuaid. McQuaid over to Gatto. Gatto takes behind the red line. All the way around, looks for a shot. Puck still loose and knocked away from the crease by the Ice Knights. Manzi way out of the crease, and he gets walloped. My God, that was a huge collision between Demeski and Manzi. He comes way out of the crease and gets lit up for it, loses his helmet and his stick. Whoa. Yeah. I don't know what else to say besides whoa.
Whoa is right, Kenny, and Manzi came off his line. I mean, came out of the goal to try and get the puck out, but anytime a goaltender does that, you have that risk of getting in a collision like this, possibly getting hurt, and Manzi looks like he's feeling it after that one. Heads back between the pipes, but here it is. I mean, just slides in and a little too late coming out, and it cost him here.
And you know, you kind of roll the dice when you do that. We saw earlier on pay off for Michael Manzi, and then that time, sure, he got the puck away, but did not pay off as he got absolutely lit up.
No, and it's simple. He didn't get off his line fast enough. If he got off maybe a second sooner, that puck's out of there, and he's safe and not taking that hit, but now probably a little shaken up after a collision of that level.
Face-off in the Laker end is won by Oswego. Baker has it now in the near side corner. He gets taken down, and a shot goes to Manzi that he does save.
Yeah, and Manzi, credit to him, doing a great job staying up on his feet, but you can see from up here, Kenny, he's wincing a little bit between the pipes. I mean, looks like he's out of breath. Probably got the wind knocked out of him on that hit.
We'll take a look at the Wanzones Calzones replay into the corner. Nice save from Michael Manzi to prevent any more damage from the Ice Knights as DeFlorio has it now in Geneseo's end. Baker skates down for it. Tangled up with DeFlorio, and it will be an offsides.
Yeah, Kenny, and Baker going at it here with Greg Diamond of the Knights. A lot of physicality we've seen in this game, some huge hits, including that one on Michael Manzi just moments ago, and Oswego kind of feels like they're losing their cool a little bit here in the last 4.5 minutes.
Face-off coming near the blue line of the Geneseo zone. Ryan in for Oswego, and it's won by the Ice Knights, but taken back by Oswego, and knocked out of the zone by Kovacs, as Payon will chase it down to the Laker end. Payon will pass it over. Gilmore with it now, back over to Payon near the red line. He'll dump it to the far side corner, and off the board towards Wolters, who passes it over to Kovacs. Kovacs over to Payon. McDonald has it near the blue line. He gets hit into the bench and bounces off the faceplate of Gavin McCarthy sitting on the bench. Wow. And there's just been so many big hits in this game. A lot of physicality. I don't even know how to describe it here, Mike, at this point. But Oswego gets it back in their own end with Vassilo. Vassilo will pass it off the boards over to Gilmore. Gilmore loses it. Vassalo tries to get it back, and to neutralize it goes. Here comes Deisman. Deisman down the far side. Pass in front, redirect doesn't go for Forberg. Forberg tries to get it back off the rebound. It's a nice check as Vassalo does get it back for Oswego. That's up to Matt McQuaid. McQuaid, the lone goal scorer tonight for Oswego, will wrap it around the boards. Simple charges in for Geneseo to get it back. McQuaid knocks it down, calling for a pass to Semrad. Won't get it, didn't have a lane to pass. And McQuaid's pass knocks the stick out of the hand of Demeski, and it goes across the blue line. It'll force the reset anyway as Torgner comes out of the crease to pass to Melso.
Yeah, Kenny, and a line change for the Lakers there, much needed. They were getting gas, but here's an interception from Semrad as Lakers try to bring this one back the other way.
Lakers with it now on the offensive end. Baker takes a shot in front, and that one's saved by Torgner. And here's some extracurriculars. Saw that one coming from Bagnoli as he was headhunting Horacek. And they'll just skate away and not fight on this one.
Yeah, Kenny, if we take a look at Michael Manzi slowly skating his way over to the bench right now, does not look like he is in good shape. Brandon Milberg consoling him here. We'll see what the decision is, but from what I'm looking at, I don't think he can continue this game. I mean, over on the bench, hunched over, wincing in pain. And it looks like Manzi's gonna skate back out, at least for the time being.
Might be thinking about pulling the goalie here soon if you're Oswego. If you get possession with 2:47, you need 2 goals. It might be exactly why, and he is doing exactly that in the slot, and here's a timeout. So Manzi will skate back to the bench. Does look like he's in rough shape after the big hit, but there will be a timeout called, and it's definitely to think about when they're going to pull him off the ice. He was sitting in the slot out of the crease, waiting to go.
When they're going to pull him off the ice, or even if he can continue to play in this game. He's being checked out by Oswego's athletic trainers right now. But Lakers have 2 more options on the bench, and we'll wait and see what's going to happen as Coach John Whitelaw trying to walk the Lakers through a play here. What can they do to try and find the back of the net?
Well, Mike, you're going to like this advertisement. Kenny Gerard and Lucas McGarry take you into the world of Oswego State Lakers and Laker Connections. To stay up to date on everything Lakers, from highlights, stats, updates, and more, tune in only on WTOP 10. Wow, what a nice gentleman there on the left of that one.
What a handsome gentleman on the left and right.
Well, I guess I get to do my own show on here once in a while. Anyway, back to the game. So during this timeout, Mike, I mean, what are you going to say to your team if you're Ed Gosick, you're down 2, you know you're going to pull your goalie soon? Well, they might be pulling him right off. Nope, they're not. Okay, I thought I saw. No, I am seeing 6 on the ice. I can count, right, Mike?
Yes,
1,
you
2,
can,
3,
Kenny.
4, 5, 6. No Manzi. Yeah, they're pulling him.
An empty net here for the Lakers. Michael Manzi didn't look like he was going to be able to continue with the way he skated off the ice. So Oswego bringing the heat, bringing the pressure, and really they need to here. With 2:47 on the clock, it's the only option.
Well, here we go. 6 on 5. Empty net for Oswego. It's the last chance for the Lakers to try and take one from Geneseo. They beat them earlier in the year 1-0. We've already well outscored that one in this game. Baker with it now for Oswego. It's over to Bannister. Bannister takes a shot, goes wide. Horacek off the rebound. Gets hit up against the glass by DeFlorio. McQuaid sets it up in front. Gets it poked away, and the Lakers take it back with Bannister. McQuaid takes a shot, goes off the boards. And here comes a chance for Geneseo to take a shot at the open net. They score! Panchizin gets the empty netter from across the blue lines and sends that one well over 75 feet across the ice and scores it. It's 4-1 Geneseo, and things are looking bleak for the Lakers squad.
Yeah, Kenny, talk about a snipe. I know it's an empty net, a very easy target, but from that distance, it really isn't. Luke Panchizin, with some composure, slots that one down into that bottom corner, and Michael Manzi, despite us thinking he might have been injured, heads back onto the ice to finish this game for the Lakers.
And Panchizin shot that one off his back foot too and was guarded. That's a beautiful empty netter from the Geneseo Ice Knights to try to really ice the cake on this one, 4-1. As this one goes back down to the Laker end. And Cooper storms down for it. He'll pass it along the boards over to Ergo. As Deisman gets there as well. Geneseo, if they can keep possession of the puck, they can effectively end this game, not allowing the Lakers to even have a chance to pull Manzi. We'll see if they even decide to, now down 3 total goals with less than 2 minutes left here in the third.
Yeah, and Geneseo doing exactly what they need to do. Just keeping this puck pressed up against the boards, trying to shut it out, but here comes Oswego the other way.
Semrad with it now. He'll pass it cross ice over to Fudger. Fudger will dump it around the boards. as Torgner will pass it over to his man, and Geneseo gets possession back. Manzi didn't even come into the slot, so it does not look like the Lakers will be pulling him for the rest of this game. Gilmore will chase it back down to the zone. Manzi calls for the icing, and he will get the call. So 4-1, Geneseo leads. Effectively, this game is pretty close to over, and they would need 3 goals in a minute 30. It's near impossible. For Torgner tonight, 29 saves and 1 goal allowed. Puts him at a 96.7% save percentage. And Michael Manzi, not a bad night. 20 saves, 3 goals allowed, and 87% save percentage. Just not as good as Jacob Torgner.
Yeah, I think he's got to be this X-factor player for this Geneseo team. Torgner has absolutely stood on his head tonight. 29 saves, and very similar to what we saw Gavin McCarthy do to Geneseo at the beginning of this season on the road.
Yeah, Geneseo gets it off the face-off in their own end. Chasing it now are the Lakers, but can't get there as Bagnoli passes it off the boards. Horacek gets possession and dumps it into the zone. Burke skates down for it, and it's over to Wolters. Wolters has it now for Geneseo. Bala pops it back in the zone. Burke looks to knock it down. Cohen gets it off the rebound. Cohen sets it up in front. Nobody there for the pass. And Bala keeps it on side as 1 minute remains here in the third period. Bala tries to get possession. It's up to Burke. Burke with the lane skating slow and just dumps it around the boards. Simons gets it down the far side boards. Well, after this one, Mike, Oswego will fall to 14-5-2 overall. Geneseo moves to 14-6-1, and the number 14 team in the country will top the number 6 team in the country as Geneseo tries to get it back, and they'll pass it back along the boards. That extends Oswego's losing streak to 3 straight games, now dropping to Canton, Hobart, and Geneseo consecutively. 2 of those losses at home. For Geneseo, that extends their win streak to 4 straight games, 2 against Chatham in their last matchups, and then beating Oswego in their home barn, and it extends that streak of winning for Geneseo against Oswego all time. They've been 3-11 in the last since 2018 for Oswego. Nice block there by the Ice Knights, and Oswego looking just maybe for one more shot. Goes wide of the net from Vassilo. Gatto looks to pass it back, and time will expire on them in front of the crease, and that will end it. All-time Oswego falls to 63-38-6 in their 107th matchup, and since 2018, the Lakers are 3-12 against the Ice Knights. Oswego averages 4.73 goals a game against this team and didn't even get close to that mark, only getting 1 behind Torgner, and that is the story of the night. And Geneseo, still no road losses since November 29th, and moved to 8-1-1 on the road. What a dominant road team. Both teams beating each other in each other's barns.
Yeah, Kenny, and it's a rarity to see a team succeed so much on the road, yet struggle so much in their home rink. I mean, this Geneseo team is, in my eyes, sort of an anomaly. It's not something you see very often, but it's a really cool story to follow along with. I mean, November 29th, their last loss on the road, and a great season for them, and a huge win as we look at the USCHO polls.
Both teams have clinched their way into the postseason in their respective conferences. Obviously, conference standings are not implicated by this game whatsoever, but Oswego has 22 points, puts them in second place in the SUNYAC, and they've officially punched their ticket to the postseason. Geneseo sits at 9-3 in the UCHC with 28 points. They're also in second place behind the Utica Pioneers, and they have also punched their ticket to the postseason. So both teams are looking ahead to the playoffs, but this game will probably have some big implications for the USCHO standings, and the UCHC gets the better of the SUNYAC in this one.
Yeah, Kenny, and this Oswego team has had a rough past couple of weekends. Started out with a loss to the Canton Kangaroos, and then last night a 6-1 loss to the number 1 ranked Hobart Statesmen, and now tonight a 4-1 loss to the Geneseo Knights. Something has to bend, something has to change for this Lakers team if they want to find that success they had early on this season.
It just seems like they were outskated and outmatched tonight against Geneseo. I know they traveled yesterday, as Ed Gosick actually having a word with the referee after the game and seems frustrated about something. They'll shake hands, but Ed Gosick clearly upset about a couple of things that happened in this game. There were a few no calls, but personally I think they kind of went both ways. I think they let him play on, but there's been some huge hits, and Ed Gosick's gonna let him hear about it as he heads back to the locker room, and that'll do that.
Yeah, and Manzi appears to be catching up with some old friends out at center ice. A tough loss for the Lakers here, continuing that losing streak, but for Geneseo, a huge win and a huge momentum booster for them as they near the playoffs.
Well, Mike, again, we talked about the huge USCHO poll standings.
Yeah, Kenny, and Oswego started this weekend sitting in 6th place in the USCHO, but now currently sitting, or still in 6th place, but with 2 losses this weekend, it's going to be hard to say exactly where they'll end up.
Well, Mike, it was an interesting one. Again, we came into the game. Both teams averaged 3.8 goals per game, and Geneseo just hit above that mark, and they're at 3.8 goals per game, and they got 4 in this one. And Oswego, again, defensively, kind of had the advantage of this one, and Geneseo's offense had the advantage in this one. And it just seemed like that the Oswego offense couldn't get it going. The Geneseo defense just absolutely swarmed them. They outskated them on the ice. And, I mean, ultimately, that's going to lead to victory. And I don't know. Let me see. Let me do the math. Oh, yeah, every hockey game.
Every hockey game. And Jacob Tordner has to be the player of the game today.
Oh, for sure.
Stood on his head, had a dominant performance there, and showed why he's the #1 for the Geneseo Knights.
Well, Mike, it was a pleasure. Lakers fall 4-1 to the Ice Knights. We'll look at some replays from the game, and then we'll be sending you over to our perch for the post-game show. Thanks for joining us in the Sealy Press Box. I'm Kenny Gerard, and that's been Mike Neckers. Thanks for joining us.
Well, guys, it's a negative night here in Oswego, and I'm not just talking temperatures. Negative 17 degrees is what it feels like outside, but the Lakers are feeling negative tonight. Dropping another one as our rinkside reporter Jen Sally joins us now. Jen, just not a great night for the Lakers, but Michelle, I'll start with you. This was the first time the Lakers have lost back-to-back games against ranked opponents since earlier this season. It was December 2025 when Hobart, and they played Hobart on a Friday night and Utica the next day. So losing games to ranked opponents has been a challenge for Oswego this season. What are they going to do, down the stretch? Because we've got some important games coming up.
Definitely. I think that if I'm Ed Gosek, I'm almost going business as usual, just kind of that video review and those practices as usual. I think that it might be, honestly, a mindset going into these few games here. I think that last night at Hobart, they almost didn't think that they could win, and that's why they didn't. Tonight here at Geneseo, they thought that they could win, and then Geneseo came out and did what they do on the road, and Oswego didn't win. So I think that it comes down to mindset, and I think they're going to focus more on the day-to-day than anything else going into these last few games.
Parker, a big-time loss for the Lakers here tonight, and it's been sort of a trend for this Lakers team here, as we were saying. Not great stats when you're looking at the last time out in the last few matches between these two teams. What can you tell me about the recent history between the Knights and the Lakers?
Yeah, it's been rough for the Oswego State Lakers in their last 10 matchups, including tonight. The Lakers are now 2-8 against the Geneseo Knights, and I picked the Knights to win tonight 2-1. They did win 4-1, so my prediction wasn't exactly right. But like you talked about, Michelle, Geneseo is such a great road team, and they come into the Deb and they beat another ranked opponent, which is really going to boost them up to maybe make a tournament appearance when we go into the playoff stretch. But another tough loss for Lakers, back-to-back losses, but they got to regroup and really hone in on their strengths and weaknesses, work on those weaknesses as the season is wrapping up.
You can see there the Lakers definitely held their own on home ice, but Jen, you were moving around all game. You were in the midst of the environment. Did anything stand out to you from these Laker fans?
I mean, the Laker fans seemed very engaged all night, Eddie, and the energy was high throughout the whole game. The Lakers just couldn't find the back of the net for most of the periods.
Absolutely, and that third period was more action-packed than what we saw earlier in the game. We got 3 goals in that third period, starting with the Lakers on a shorthanded goal. Michelle, what can you tell me about Matt McQuaid and the Lakers coming out here in this third period?
Yeah, no, definitely. It almost looked like an own goal from Geneseo. Matt McQuaid kind of pushed it in past the crease. Next thing you know, McQuaid's behind, and there's a Geneseo player right inside of that red line, that blue ice, and the puck is in the net. this is the second game in a row, at least that I've been on the perch for, that there has been an own goal situation, which I think is interesting. I don't think that's anybody's fault necessarily, but it's good to have one on the board for Oswego, no matter how it came. Great effort there from McQuaid. I wonder if you can see, there's a skater in front. You can't see just who tips that in. I wish we could, if we could show that to you guys. But definitely great for McQuaid. It'll be nice to carry one into the next game against Cortland. You know, better or for worse, they didn't win tonight.
Yeah, McQuaid picking up a nice unassisted shorthand goal there to get the Lakers on the board. But minutes later, Parker, the Knights responded. It was Ryan Forberg scoring his 6th of the season. What did you see in response from the Geneseo Knights?
Yeah, Geneseo just did what they had to do, and they responded with a goal from, like you said, Ryan Forberg, and it was really great passing from the Knights. Forberg found himself wide open in the middle, and just great passing by the Knights to find him there, and a shot. Manzi wasn't able to make the glove save, as you just saw there, and in my opinion, I think that was the nail in the coffin for the Oswego State Lakers tonight. Another tough loss, and got to regroup. Cortland's going to be a tough matchup. Any SUNY matchup is always a tough one.
Yeah, Parker, the nail in the coffin for sure. And then the cherry on top was the open net goal later on in that period, Jen. It was Luke Panchizin who scored his 7th of the season, and ultimately just a celebratory goal there for the Knights. And you were down by the bench. Did any of the guys give off any sort of positive reaction, or just, they got to be feeling good after taking down the Lakers tonight, right?
They were definitely feeling good, Eddie. Very eager to get off the ice, probably to go celebrate.
Absolutely. Well, next up for the Lakers, they will take the trip down to Cortland, as Parker said, on Friday for an important SUNYAC conference matchup. But with more on those important SUNYAC matchups, we've got our guy, Lucas McGarry, one final time. Lucas, what can you tell us about the ongoing SUNYAC slate of games?
Yeah, thank you very much, Eddie. It was a very busy weekend of SUNYAC action, and there's been plenty of movement in the standings. Several teams saw point gains, including Hobart, Cortland, Skidmore, Plattsburgh, and Fredonia. Hobart continues to separate itself from the pack, extending its lead to 28 points now as it stays on the dominant run towards SUNYAC success. Cortland picked up 2 wins this weekend and now sit third, just 2 points behind an Oswego Lakers team that has dropped its last 2 conference games and now 0-3 overall in their last 3. Skidmore also grabbed 2 wins and sit right behind Cortland, making the race for second extremely tight. The Lakers have 22 points, Cortland 20, and Skidmore 18, with Plattsburgh close behind at 16 after a pair of conference wins. That group makes up a crowded race at the top, and all 5 teams are in strong position to make the playoffs. At the other end of the standings, 4 teams are battling it out to avoid being left out. Buffalo State and Canton are tied at 12 points with 5 wins and 1 tie and 1 overtime loss. Overtime losses are huge here because Fredonia sits behind them with 11 points despite having only 3 wins and 1 tie. However, Fredonia has 4 overtime losses, including 2 this weekend, which currently keeps them ahead of Potsdam. The Bears have 10 points with 4 wins and 2 ties, which is a better record overall or in conference than Potsdam. However, Fredonia, 4 overtime losses makes that the difference maker. If the playoffs started today, Fredonia would be the last team in and Potsdam would be the first team out. Morrisville, sitting at 5 points, faces a steep uphill climb, but in this conference, nothing is guaranteed. Looking ahead, Hobart has already clinched at least a home playoff game and should be clinching that 1 seed very soon. Oswego is just 1 point away from doing the same, that is clinching a home playoff spot, but the teams chasing them are hungry and won't make it easy. For now, the SUNYAC standings are set. That's my breakdown. I'm Lucas McGarry, sending it back to the perch. Eddie, please take it away.
Thank you, Lucas. You have been on track with the SUNYAC all night. We appreciate your work there. But you know who wasn't on track with their game picks was our Parker Voris. Parker, tell us the final end result here with Parker's picks. How'd it go tonight?
So, Eddie, we went 1 for 3 last time, and we went 0 for 3. We struck out tonight. Connor Gatto wasn't able to get a goal. It looked like he got hurt a little bit during the end of the 3rd period, but came back on the ice, but wasn't able to get a goal. The over-under 4.5, just that last empty netter was the one that did it, and it went over. And then the goals one is the one that really is kicking me. Torgner ended with 29 saves. If he got 1 more save, it would have cashed that over.
What a great line. What a great line that you came up with there, but 0 for 3 tonight, Parker. Hopefully you'll bounce back. Hopefully the Lakers can bounce back on Friday as they take on the Cortland Red Dragons there in Cortland. It's important, and it's a conference matchup, so they will look to bounce back. But I want to take a moment to highlight tonight's broadcast. It was not possible without our wonderful producer, Joe Seidman, who put in countless hours to this show here tonight. And, of course, alongside me, Michelle Smith, Parker Voris, Jen Sally. Mike Neckers and Kenny Gerard in the press box, and everybody else who made this broadcast possible. We want to take a moment to thank you. That's Lakers hockey tonight. Knights take this one 4-1, but see us next time right here on WTOP 10.